It's ironic that your like toilet makes so much noise, and this is a garbage book that belongs in the toilet, and it makes way too much noise. So
it does. Yeah.
the equation is there.
Oh, it's like it's written in the stars.
It's like it's written. This book makes me want to take an upper decker.
Oh man, I'm guessing we're
on.
Oh, Ronnie, your intros are...
I never cease to surprise you, huh?
No, I love it. I love it. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Rory.
And I'm Roni.
And this is another episode of
Have and Have Not,
where one of us has read a book and the other has not until today. And today is another special guest episode,
Woohoo!
right, Ronnie? Because today we're reading The War of Two Queens, which...
From the From Blood and Ash universe. It is a universe because there's not only a prequel series, but there's a main series and a spin-off series and a companion novel. And when you get to a companion novel stage, it is a universe. Harry Potter, Outlander, Star Wars. This is a universe, girl. Like it or not, we exist in this.
Yeah. Well, you know, if this series has taught me nothing, it's taught me that you can make money and write a book series about absolutely fucking nothing.
And if you have a big dick and a teeth kink, you're set.
Apparently. So
Yeah,
there's a few housekeeping things we need to get to really quick before we get started on the synopsis. Number one, Noah's here today with us because we actually recorded this episode already.
Shush.
It got deleted. I'm not going to name names, but he was a Claude companion. And me and Ronnie didn't want to re-record this like by ourselves because by that time Noah actually...
We had lost all of our brain cells.
Yeah, Noah had finished the book. So you know what? He's fun to have around. Hey, hi, Noah.
Hi.
Yeah, so Noah's fun to have around for the podcast. So hopefully we're going to have a good time.
We will.
Even though this book was
I'm manifesting
horrid.
a good time.
This book was so bad.
This book was absolutely donkey shit.
I haven't read this in a while, so some of the stuff that I'm going to be reading from our synopsis, I'm using The Girl with the Red Backpack, shout out, because she's got a full synopsis. Some of this stuff I definitely am not going to remember offhand.
No.
But it'll be fun to relive it.
This isn't also like a book where you have the mental capacity to reread it. Like I've reread books. Like just the other night I reread a book, like an entire book, start to finish, because I can. This is not one of those books because every time you read this book, you feel like you're getting stupider.
Yeah.
Because things make less and less and less sense and people try to ration it out and you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like you're talking
work.
in so many circles that you're giving yourself whiplash.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, when we say, and here's the thing, I've said this before and then we'll get to the synopsis, but just to clarify, when we say this doesn't make sense, like I know for some of our past episodes, especially when we were like green and new with the podcasting thing, like
bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yeah, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. There were times where we were being a little nitpicky just for the lulz, but like at this point, when I say something doesn't make sense, I really fucking mean it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't add up. Like, 1 + 1 does not equal 4. Like, I'm so confused with what is going on in some of these books, and this is one of them, where when we say this doesn't make sense, it's not like
we're not making a hyperbolic statement.
Exactly.
We're giving you the truth.
It's so nutso. So anyway... We left off in the third book, and I said in the podcast for the third book that the way that the third book ends is actually so good.
Yes.
It's like the only good part about the whole third book was the ending.
Yes.
Was that Castiel's captured, and I love when people are captured. I love it. It's like...
You sick, twisted beast.
Well, because I like... the tension of the love interest being separated as much as anyone else, but I like it when it's like a capture or a forced separation instead of a breakup, because like breakups are annoying. I love the yearning, like I love that, like we're separated but we have to get back together, and Castiel starts the book doing that. He's captured by the queen, and I have never ever seen such a good setup botched so royally.
His capture was inconsequential. He got out in like 2 pages,
which we'll talk about, but let's get started. Are you ready, Noah?
Ready, Noah?
Noah's ready.
Noah's ready.
Feel free to contribute, Noah, as we go along. So anyway.
You don't need to raise your hand. This is a free-for-all space. We say what we want. We say what's on our mind. Tablecloth. That's what's on my mind.
Cool. So yeah, This was the most botched bullshit I've ever seen. So first things first, Castile, he finds himself in a dark cell.
For reference, we're using Girl with the Red Backpack for synopsis because the fan wiki doesn't know what it's talking about anymore.
Yeah, the fan wiki's kind of lost its mind, like Jennifer. So he did this to save Poppy from being taken, which from the last book we talked about why that was stupid anyway, but it's fine.
She feels like a much more important prize if that's an option.
Yeah, for real. And so he's with Queen Isbeth.
Bitch.
Who, remember, is Poppy's mother. And he knows that he might be killed, which, first of all, why didn't she just kill him? Like, I get she's
Bargaining chip.
Yeah, but she's not
Because
doing that, though.
Well, because she knows that Poppy would never cede power to her if Castile wasn't safe.
Yeah, but it's like they're at a stalemate. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is accomplishing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, this is accomplishing absolutely nothing. But anyway, so occasionally these handmaidens keep coming into his, like, cell to take blood from him for some reason. I guess it's because he's Atlantean and that's how they make the what are they called? The Revenants. Right?
Revenants.
They don't really, she never really
The
fleshes
Ascended,
out.
I think.
She never really fleshes out the Revenants, but, like,
I think the
You're
Revenants
right.
are the creatures.
Yeah.
Like the monstery creatures, right? They're like the version of the vampire without like a conscious.
that's the
sort of
Craven.
morality.
There's the Revenants, which
Revenants
is
were like worse than Craven.
yes,
though.
the Revenants were the worse than Craven, but to make vampire, you're right, you need Atlantean
You need
blood.
Atlantean blood.
So that's why she's taking blood from him.
Isn't-
Okay, it's all coming back.
Isn't one of Iluana's handmaidens a Revenant? Remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
But we're
they're like the weird undead people.
Yeah, they're this, which again, it's like when you have so many characters who are like different bastardizations of the same like mythical creature, it's like starting to get really confusing and like not quite clear what the real differentiator is anymore. Like what makes the Revenant, like when you start the first book with the Craven are the worst, they're the animals, they're like terrifying, you don't want to mess with a Craven, and then it's like the Revenant.
I feel
You're like what?
I feel like she's trying to. Okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but stop me if you feel like I'm off base. I feel like she's trying to be a bit too clinical with the different species because I see these kinds of subdivisions in like my line of work. Like I work with people with heart disease, and heart disease isn't just one shape or form. You have like hypertensive heart disease, you have ischemic heart disease, you have like chronic heart failure, you have AFib, you have all these things. And my point of bringing that up is that I feel like JLA thinks she did more than she actually did.
Yeah.
I think that she's like creating this complex cascade of interwoven histories and pathologies, and like to get this you need this and you need this and you need this, like kind of like with any like systematic disease or group of illnesses. But the problem is she does it so horribly that like you can't follow a thread. Like if I were to sit down and
Right,
explain to you
right.
the difference between ischemic and hypertensive heart disease, you'd be like, oh, because there's this, this, and this happening. If I were to sit down and tell you the difference between a Craven and a Revenant and a vampire, we'd say like, well, one of them's hot and sexy, one of them's scary dead,
Yeah.
and the other one is hot, sexy, but also,
Also
scary and dead.
Yeah, literally, you're so right.
Like I just think she's trying too hard to make something extravagant, and in doing so, she falls short of the bases.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
I think the whole Revenant super soldier thing, that's kind of what they are. Like these sort of like quasi immortal soldiers, is like hype. You can only kill them in these like really hyper specific conditions.
Yeah.
It's this kind of mix of I feel like from my perspective, and others can disagree, of her both kind of falling into this trap with the books of the serial escalation. Like it's like in the first book, the main
That's what I
thread
was gonna
is-
say. Yeah.
The main thread is like this corrupt vampire lord and like the sort of system he's a part of, and like the allies nominally, and she doesn't know at the beginning but finds out it's like the local resistance that's trying to like combat them, and like there's like the monsters in the woods and all that. Those are the Craven. But at the same time, her good guys, at least in Atlantia, are kind of OP.
Yeah,
And
just
that,
a little
like,
bit.
They're all kind of like these like, hyper competent, like super immortal warriors who seem quite capable of handily dealing with any regular human army.
It's like what
and
we
even the
talked about for
Craven-
SJM Universe. The supernatural creatures are humans, but better.
Yeah, it's
They're
kind of
just
the same
like
thing.
infallible.
And again, it's like So it's like once you kind of meet Atlantea, it's like, okay, how is any human army or even the Craven like a meaningful threat to them that they're like on the back foot? And then it's like, well, now I can make super Craven that are smart and capable and are virtually indestructible, and we have magic that can summon warriors like Jason with the dragon teeth or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, well,
then-
it reminds me of like the Vampire Diaries. That like each season gets like progressively more insane, and it's like you're ending with like the
Satan.
devil. Like you know what I mean? Like
well, actually, yeah. So yeah, and that's kind of things like by the time they reach the end of the series, they're literally dealing with an awakening, malevolent, mad god, and it's like, okay, I feel like we've been removed from the focus of what we were dealing with. But
I would rather see a progression of the already established villain rather than just trying to up the ante every 2 books.
right, yeah, it feels lazy.
Also, going back to the Atlantean comment, because he mentioned that they were like super OP'd, super smart, super powerful, super sexy, but they have like aqueducts.
Yeah.
But they live in like bathhouses or some shit. Like, remember, we talked about this before.
No, they
how
have
like
plumbing. They
they
have
have
full-on
plumbing.
plumbing and showers. We're not getting into that conversation again. I went on a whole rant about that. As a historian, that drives me fucking insane.
well, yeah, like that's kind of like the issue is like part of that is like again, it's like I guess it's like a romantasy. So part of it is kind of like you would see in like almost like a romantic comedy, like or like a Hallmark movie, like oh the boyfriend is actually like the secret prince, so now the girl gets like a taxpayer-funded wardrobe change, and you go into that sort of thing. You kind of accept, oh right, this is kind of meant to be fantasy. And like, oh, I wish I was like this girl getting these like nice things, like and stuff, and like nobody wants to live in the fantasy medieval kingdom where you shit in a bucket. So
I don't
can
know. That's
accept
the
that,
romance of the medieval times that I aspire for.
But like some of it is a little confusing, and it is kind of myopic and a little bit like again heavy-handed to make the good guys not just better in that they are superior warriors and like have the cooler immortality, but they also have like indoor plumbing and readily available electricity. And this is a thing I have discussed with Rory at length, and she knows my point of contention on this: casseroles. There's like a whole thing
Casseroles.
where like they're like she's hanging out with like, the good guys and their friends, and they're like
He's very hung up on this.
yeah, but like hear me out here. There's a whole bit where like at a restaurant they're like oh thank goodness we're back where we can get some proper food. I'm gonna order a casserole, and I'm like,
Can you tell JLA is white as fuck?
and I'm just like,
Is she also Midwestern?
It's
but
probably.
well, that's my
Wait.
thing is like a casserole is not a specific dish. It's more like a style. It's just things in a pan and then crusted over. It's like. And they even discuss different varieties, like a green bean casserole or something.
Now that's
and I'm
some
like,
real food.
Is this like the most exciting thing in the world? And she's like, Poppy's like baffled. I get like
She's
maybe
from West Virginia, guys.
That makes so much sense.
That makes way too much sense.
But I'm just like,
And I kind of hate that I know
is a
that now.
casserole like the most exciting cuisine you can imagine? It's
For a West
thing.
Virginian, yeah. You got squirrel pie most other days of the week.
Yeah, and I love how
Sorry,
like
West
everything
Virginia.
is so like exotic coded in Atlantea, and then they're like raving about fucking
Casseroles!
casseroles. like, good job, JLA. But
The
anyway,
next thing that we need is a Jello salad or something.
anyway, so we're talking about your point about the different kinds of, I'm gonna say vampires in the broad sense. Like when I say
She has air
vampires,
quotes.
when I say vampires, I mean I'm encompassing all of her distinctions. So the Revenants, the Cravens, the Atlanteans, and the Vampire are all like
Anyone with
vampires, are all vampires. But she does the same thing with the gods, because in this next scene, while he's in prison, he's being Castile is being visited by Isbeth, and he finds out that she's like a demis. Which keep in mind, we have gods, we have primals, we have deities, and now we have demis. Like, this is getting fucking ridiculous. It's like, and then apparently a demis means that she's not quite a god, but she's not quite a human. So what the fuck does that mean?
Basically, she's stronger,
like,
but
this
not
is
the strong gift.
Fucking insane, bro.
And it makes it important to distinguish that she's a demis, because later we find out what Poppy is.
Which is also stupid, but we'll get there
It
later.
is stupid.
So anyway,
I don't say anything.
we cut back to Poppy. And Poppy, and her Atlantean soldiers are making their way towards this town called Oak Ambler, and their intention is to capture it. So they're near the walls, and they find all these bodies tacked up to the wall, and these white headdresses covering their faces, which is like a message
Reference
to
to-
Poppy because
yeah.
she was the maiden.
They're like, ooh, you don't give us what we want, so we give you dead people wearing the stuff that we used to force you to wear.
Yeah, it's like, I'm here for the pettiness. Can you? But you know what's so funny?
This message is for Poppy. Can you tell?
Can you tell?
Can you tell?
The literal queen.
I mean, I think it was meant to be a diminutive, and like Rory said, it's kind of a petty, like, ha, like, F you.
Yeah.
Like remember that really shitty time in your life? We're going to remind you of that, but also kill people because, you know, eat shit.
Because you're queen now.
Because eat shit. So the group runs through town, and there's an attack, and they basically, to show that Poppy's a good guy, she only kills the people in the town, the civilians who try to attack her.
Oh.
Not other people. She saves those people because Poppy's a good guy. She doesn't just kill random people. She kills people who attack her. Which, okay.
I'm glad you have that distinction in your morality.
Yeah, oh, that's so funny. But anyway, they march up to the castle and they find some Ascended and they kill them without question. Even though we've already shown, like, this gets so dicey, especially with Ian in the last
Because they
book.
have the capacity to be good.
Like,
Ooh,
you
sorry.
told me in the first 2 books that the Ascended, you're justified in killing the Ascended like the fucking orcs in Lord of the Rings because they're inherently evil and there's no saving them, like they're the fucking Walking Dead zombies.
But
Like,
her brother is still intact.
But her brother was perfectly fine. So, like...
I mean, I think it's
What?
I think it's like since the Ascended are like the nobility, they had to have had a hand in the whole killing the girls on the wall thing. Like if it wasn't their idea, they went along with it.
No, but I know, but I'm saying it's not about the one event of putting girls on the wall. My point is this opens up a whole, like, can of worms about whether it's justified for her at all to take this, like, racist view that the Ascended are inherently evil and without mercy should be destroyed for the sake of winning this war,
Except for that one guy.
Except for that one guy
Well,
who was her brother. Like,
mean,
I'm just like,
yeah.
so no Ascended could possibly be redeemed? None of
No,
them? All
no.
of them have to die? Because isn't that what the Ascended are saying about the Atlanteans? Like, are you that different?
Like that is sort of my thing though, is that like she does kind of like make points to suggest the idea that some Ascended like kind of came by it honestly, or like during the ritual, some of them might have been drugs, so they might not have been paying attention.
They
to,
were
like,
born into that fate. So you're saying that anyone was a firstborn or a secondborn or whatever it was, they're subjected to die at your hand because of a birth order that they were
Well, I mean, like
forced into?
Well, that's sort of my point. Is I'm saying is that like
I'm saying
part
I
of the
agree with
system,
you.
like part of the system is like they even make a point to suggest that like I know there's like really torrid bad parts of the ritual. I think like you know they have to drink Atlantean blood and stuff, and like there's some suggestions like a lot of them could have just been drugged and not really been clear on what they were doing during the process, so they weren't like even actively torturing an Atlantean for their blood to sustain themselves. But like Roy said, like we never actually meet really another Atlantean or like Ascended besides her brother, who doesn't like go all in on the whole humans
that's
are
also, like,
cattle thing.
He's also one of the only Ascended that we've seen in like a casual setting. Like Poppy hasn't had much exposure to Ascended knowing what they are. Like the one person she's met ended up being good, so that's 100%. She's batting 1-0.
Yeah, like I said, like
1-0, whatever it is, baseball.
I'm saying the narrative makes a point to provide an out for some Ascended, suggest some could be okay, and they make up apparently the entirety of the nobility of this kingdom. So they have to be able to govern to some degree.
Yeah, like...
I mean, like, they can't possibly just be in their castles having parties and killing people. So they have to, like, someone has to file paperwork, right?
Yeah.
like someone has to be governing, right? I mean...
Yeah, so that's my point, that, like,
So, like,
she
is
undercut...
he the only one?
Like, the whole, like... You know, you're trying to make Poppy look like a good guy here. But you just, by introducing that concept with Ian, you just undercut that whole concept. Like, oh yeah, Poppy's such a good guy, except... She never even considers.
It would have been more impactful if she went to meet Ian and he was like a shell of himself.
Yeah, and then you could justify like this, you know,
kill them all.
Yeah, this kill them all, put them down like dogs, like mentality that they have. But you literally just showed me that that's not true.
In efforts to emphasize the morally founded decision of Poppy to execute all the Ascended, we find out later
Oh, yes.
that they have been taking the humans into the forest and turning them intentionally.
Which, again, another example of her bad writing where, like, she wants to have all these, like, moments, but, like, she doesn't actually have anything to show me. Because the way it's written in the book is like, oh my god, they've been taking innocent people and turning them into more Ascended.
Well,
like,
good thing I already killed them.
But it's also like, we're preparing for a war. Of course they'd be making more Ascended. And in the first chapter, you just told us that they've been taking Castiel's blood to make more Ascended. We know this. Like, you didn't tell me anything new, and you're acting like this is some big reveal. What the fuck?
I guess it's a reveal for Poppy because she doesn't know that Castiel's been like essentially like a human blood bag.
But that's so stupid because
Yes.
she knows how this works. Wouldn't she already know that? Wouldn't she think like, oh wow, when
her critical thinking skills aren't quite up to par.
like, wow, in the last book, I saw that Malik was working for the evil queen, and that's whose Atlantean blood they were using to make all these Ascended. And now we're literally in a war, and of course they'd be making more fucking Ascended, and Castiel is captured. Put 2 and 2 together, Poppy. Like, oh,
Poppy.
she's so stupid. But anyway. So she and Kieran have a little snuggle session after this.
Because they do.
Which I told you that there are some very weird, uncomfortable romantic undertones between her and Kieran.
She's cheating on her husband.
She's literally emotionally cheating on him. This is very weird. And physically, if you really count it that way. Like, if you're somebody who's really protective of your partner, like, snuggling in a bed with your husband's best friend is a little inappropriate.
Who you're emotionally connected to.
Yeah, like by
it's
magic.
different if like two best friends snuggle and one of them's in a relationship. There's no like undercurrent of this
the animalistic attraction. Yeah, like, dude, that was just weird. But
like,
she's been setting
Kieran
up this
has
threesome.
watched Poppy and Castiel fuck.
Well, she's also watched him fuck. They've all watched each other fuck.
Like, it's just a bit too close. It's
Yeah.
getting a bit too
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird sort of pseudo voyeurism aspect of this is like it's a much heavier part of the books than like you'd think
really
you'd imagine. It's like,
And so I was actually anticipating this release. So I read this book when it came out. I got the audiobook the day it came out. And I remember reading theories because at the time I was following the series like sequentially. Like as it came out, I was reading the books.
Mm-hmm.
I remember so many theories about the throuple. Like so many people wanted the throuple on like Book Talk.
Freaks.
And I'm like, no, we don't want this.
I
This
don't
is
want
weird.
this.
I don't want it.
Exactly.
I just want, no, don't. And then JLA catered to the fandom instead of sticking true to like, I don't know if this was always her plan.
No, you can't listen to the internet. And look, people are going to call us out and say, like, we're prudes or closed-minded or whatever, but, like...
Maybe I am.
Maybe I
Get
am.
off my court.
Yeah, maybe I am. And also, here's the thing. I don't lend credibility to perverts on the internet. Like, if they want a threesome, they can write a fanfic about it. Okay,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
what
a
fanfic
book.
is for.
well,
This is a
literally.
fucking book.
Well, here's my thing. It's like it's not just that like there is a threesome; it's that it actually becomes kind of a critical plot
Yes.
point that they wind up having a threesome.
It becomes
This
like
this is like getting ahead of ourselves, but I don't remember the exact nature of the ritual. But it's like this really important ritual. It's like
sex.
vital to her ascension, or like moving up in the world in terms of her magical ability.
Fucking
But they need to have this like. Oh yeah, it's like the joining. It's like
The joining,
Yeah, it's like
magical bonding and
this magical bond between all of them, and it like basically mandates they need to have like sex in the woods together, and it's like
underneath the like a harvest moon as her breasts are bouncing bodaciously
Yes, we need to take seriously this very ancient ritual of getting railed by two guys in the woods.
at the same time.
Quickly, there's no time.
And-
Like, it's
But
so
we can
silly.
lackadaisically lick a trail from your toes up
I
to
guess
your
I just
forehead.
wonder-
It's so silly.
I don't know. It's like it is. I mean, I know it's like romantasy. It's kind of like it's a sexy book, and like you kind of have to accept when you go in for the ride. But like some of it there's this weird thing I feel strange about in like Atlantia, how like all the magic and almost all their important ceremonies and rituals seem to need to have some kind of public sex act as part of it.
It's
Like even the wolves just having like a party on the beach basically turns into an orgy where it's like everyone just like bangs and looks at each other while they do it.
Somebody saw the
This
first
is
season of Game of Thrones.
this is the world I want to be in.
And like even like with Castile, it's like there's a thing like I think like the second book where he like hasn't been drinking blood for a while. He's gone feral and he's like fit to start going on a bloody
And
rampage.
the reason why he did not drink blood is because he only wanted to drink Poppy's blood, and he couldn't drink her blood without fucking her.
Yeah, there's that.
Like there's literally no restraint. The amount that sexuality is tied in with plot is actually quite confounding because
no, no. Here's my thing though: is it's not just that. It's not that like the blood drinking has a weird sexual connotation.
But it does.
That's a normal thing in vampire fiction. She's not the first person to do that. It's that the way he is brought back to sanity, the way he like the fog in his mind and his animalistic rage is cleared, is that he gives but does not receive oral sex. He like.
You get your nut out.
Well,
your eternal nut.
To your point, without getting overly like verbose about this one point, but it's like to clarify what I think you guys are saying. At least for me, is that sex in a book is one thing, but it's so fucking silly that she tries to justify why it's in the plot.
She's trying to make porn with plot that also has plot. You can't have both.
Right. Like, if you just want to have a sex scene in a book because you like two characters...
No, sorry, I said that wrong. She wanted porn without plot. She wanted porn.
Yeah.
But she tried to insert plot into a story that doesn't need a plot in order to have the porn.
Right. Like, you don't have to, like, magically or narratively justify why a couple in your book that everybody ships is fucking in the book. Like,
or
why?
Quite frankly, why
it's
a
so
throuple
silly.
would want to get together and fuck? There doesn't need to be a magical justification. That's kind of
right.
like what gets me is like the only way to broaden their magical horizons was by enacting this ancient joining ritual between a guy and his best friend and this guy's lady friend who's been fucked against a wall while the other guy watches and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It's
like
we can't
just have the sex scene. Don't be embarrassed.
Just
do
embrace
it.
it.
You know, that's
it's the wanting it to be a serious, like, action-packed fantasy romance novel extravaganza, and the fact that you just want them to bone.
Yeah.
Like, can you please just pick a side? Because I'm getting whiplash and I'm very uncomfortable in my nether regions, and I don't.
Like, come on, book. I'm embarrassed for you.
Well, yeah, like, I guess
Embarrassed
that-
for
that-
myself too.
That kind of encapsulates a big chunk of my main issue with the stuff. Is like, again, I'm not trying to be vulgar here. I'm not trying to like get bogged down in.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get bogged down in the whole, there's like so much sex in this book. So look, that's part of the human experience, and part of this genre is the fact that there is like very steamy scenes between the respective love interests. This is just like, I've read Sarah J. Maas. I've read a little bit of Rebecca Yarros. Like I got some of those Fourth Wing books on my library just to check them out out of curiosity.
They're bad too.
I have read these books. I have engaged with the romantasy genre as much as I can. I read a lot of paranormal romance just because I like to. It often crosses over with urban fantasy, and that's a big thing I like. Is that this of all that my broad experience with these sorts of books, that this is the book where, like, kind of to Roni's point, it felt the most like gratuitous and kind of like Roni said, kind of just porn that was trying to justify itself with a plot.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm like, as I
pick
said, like,
a
there's,
side.
like,
If you're gonna make porn, just commit to the bit. Katie Robert does.
like there's moments where
and her
like,
books are great.
Yeah, and there's moments in where like sex scenes are described very graphically. Where I'm like, okay, this could have just been like a fade to black.
I want to not talk about. Let's talk about plot because
well, we have to talk about sex because
we will. But
when Poppy's asleep, she has a dream about Castile.
is it a sexy dream?
Well, not initially, but it becomes a sexy dream when it happens the second time. So, the first time she and Castile see each other. Oh, jeez.
It was a hiccup. I'm sorry.
She and Castile see each other in this like underground cave. And she thinks she's dreaming, and they start making out because, of course, when you're like, I get it that like you're married and whatever, but if this was the situation, right, and I was like in a like, it's just weird that that's the first thing you do.
Well, I mean, like, I
that you start like fucking.
I can kind of understand it, like, like we're separated, we don't know what's happening, we think we've been reunited, like, I just want to, like, know you're safe and okay, but they also, again, like, once the kind of novelty is worn off, they don't really get to talk much about, like,
Time and a place, folks.
Yeah. Well, the first time it
do you have,
makes
like,
sense.
a location for you that I can track you?
Right, like the first
Where
time this
are
happens.
you?
Exactly, the
What
first
are
time.
you doing? Are you safe?
Yeah, the first time it happens.
Are you getting your jollies off thinking about another woman?
The first time that they see each other in the dream, it's like fine that they start making out, I guess, but it just still felt like kind of weird. It's like, oh my god, Castile, you're alive. Like, it's like.
I mean, I feel like it actually
Let me
takes
get
a
you out of
while.
mortal peril before I start face sucking you.
Well, I mean, actually, if I recall correctly, I think it takes a while for them to kind of get to the idea that this isn't just a dream. Like,
No, it's only the second time.
Okay. Oh, right.
The first time is the only time they think it's a dream.
Yeah, I think that they both go into it assuming that they're just having a really hallucinatory dream, not that they bridge the mind between
And then
them.
when they
that they're
realize
actually
it's not a dream and it's like an actual kind of like astral projection, they don't take advantage of the time they are both consciously aware of each other's presence.
No, they fuck instead.
No, I know. That's what I mean.
What?
Phantom fucking is in this book before actually like delivering messages of like national secret intelligence.
Yeah, and so when she wakes up, she tells Kieran what happened, and he tells
And
her...
Kieran's like, whoa, you didn't invite me?
Yeah. That would have been funny. But, like, he tells her, which, again, is so funny that he knows this information, that, like, people just know information when it's convenient, because he says that because they're heartmates, that people who are heartmates can experience, like, a dream walking, like...
Oh, brother! This guy sucks!
Okay, and the thing with that is that definitely feels like kind of a retcons. It kind
Yeah.
of feels like...
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they say heartmates are very, like, rare and stuff, but here's my thing. I feel like the moment you, like, know or, like, suspect heavily that someone is this thing, you should probably just lay out all the information at once.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of the time...
We should expect this, and maybe this, and
Well,
potentially
like, not
yeah,
like...
dream walking and eye fucking.
And something that does kind of occur to me as I like look back on these books and the stuff comes back to my mind, they rely a lot on people just saying, "Oh, I forgot."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like there's like the
Oh, shit!
It's like the best depiction of it is you haphazardly stumble across information as it becomes like severely relevant to the actions that are going. That's not how you operate through life.
Yeah.
Well, and here's my thing though, was like, it's like like sort of like when I say that these people like recall this information. I know these are like immortals, so in case that like they have so much stuff to remember that they can't always. It's always at the fore. But it's like, this isn't like they're like stumbling across ancient lore that was lost to time. It's like, oh, I had this information in my back pocket this whole time, but only until just now as it's becoming a thing.
But like, let me
though
say
it doesn't
too,
occur to me.
don't you think someone should have told her, hey, you're a heartmate. You might be able to contact him and get some information because heartmates historically have this connection.
Yeah, everybody, that's the thing that's so fucking funny, is that everybody is so weirdly fucking chill about their fucking king being in the clutches of their enemy. Like, everyone is so weirdly calm.
Yeah, it's Castile.
Like, it is so weird how Poppy is the only person who seems to give a shit.
Kieran's like, we'll get him.
Like, yeah, literally, he's like,
get him.
it's cool, like, it's cool, baby girl, it's cool, like, what?
We'll sort this out.
Yeah, like, you'd think if this was a big deal, Kieran would have been like, Poppy, you have to try and contact Castile, like, because heartmates can do this thing, and we gotta know where he is if we're gonna save him. He
Not-
just chills.
Not like, hey, Poppy, how was your sleep? Well, I think I just fucked my husband. Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Oh, shit, I forgot.
That's sort of my thing, is that like...
You can just do that.
Okay, so here's my thing. Like, I recognize, like... Okay, so I know, like, the concept of miscommunication in books is an often harped upon, like, plot device. Yeah, like, you know, like, who hasn't, like, watched a show or movie or read a book and, like, screamed at the page or
Never
screen
in my
thinking,
life.
just talk to each other. You could fix this all with a conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, but, like, I always remember, you know, it's not like I or anyone else is actually all that good at talking to people. Like, plenty of us probably have, like,
So
had
much would have been avoided in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief if Zeus was like, Percy, did you steal my lightning bolt? You have a lightning bolt?
Yeah, so, like, kind of case in point. It's like, we're like, but, like, to a degree.
Communication, dude.
Don't you dare insult Percy Jackson.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm making a point.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm like the idea that, like, you know, even in real life that we all perfectly communicate with those we care about and always are able to convey our thoughts and feelings in everyday conversation. Like,
It's like
plenty
to
of us
roll-
don't do that. So I try to like not harp on the idea like, oh, why didn't they just know what to say in this moment that would make it fix everything immediately?
No, in my day-to-day life, I'm like, don't make any unnecessary travels. Don't do... You know that meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me in, like, my daily life. Like, I feel like if I was in this high-stakes fantasy world, I'd be like that, like, tenfold. Like, wow, 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 wow.
But, like, it just is, there's a lot of moments in this book where it's like most of the main cast actually had critical information readily available and just opted not to say it, either because they forgot or
It wasn't relevant.
or because of very thin justifications for why they had chose to be reticent. Like, like this is kind of skipping ahead, but like Castile's mom, it's like
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that.
We'll get to
that's a very important plot point. We'll get to that apparently.
Yeah, so anyway, this whole fucking stupid dream thing. So Poppy starts walking around the grounds and she encounters Reaver, who, remember from the last book, Reaver is a Draken.
Caw!
So he's basically a dude that
Shapeshifts
into a dragon, but they call them Draken. Which, to Noah's point, talking about Kingdom of Ash, remember in our Kingdom of Ash episode, you said some shit that was so funny, like, that was like, I mean, we have a god.
I said something funny?
No, Noah did.
Damn it.
You did say funny things, but this in particular was funny. Where
But
he
Noah
goes,
said the funnier thing.
he said, I mean, you have a goddamn dragon? Like, and I'm like, yeah, you have a fucking dragon. Like, doesn't dragon, like, trump everything? Like,
In rock, paper,
dragon.
scissors, that is gun.
Right.
Well, I mean, like,
dragon.
and that's sort of my thing, is that like there's kind of this issue where like I feel like a common thread with a lot of writers in film, book, and media is they always kind of want the good guys to really be like an underdog. It's never like an even contest. They always have to be like coming up from below. Got to be scrappy and hit them where it hurts and stuff.
Yeah, but they're
So-
not actually smart enough to come up with plots where.
Well, no, like there's no anything like her running into both the issue of wanting a lot of her good guys to be OP, but also still an underdog. So like early, I think was it early in this book? I think after they take the city, there's this weird, creepy old lady who like she's nice to, but then turns out she's an evil witch, and then she like one shots like 90% of their Draken with like an evil spell in one go, and it's like. Oh, well, this thing that was supposed to be a huge game changer is actually much less of a game changer now.
It's,
I'm
oh
like,
my gosh, it's like the final episode of Has Been Hotel where Serpentius goes up with his death machine to Adam.
Yeah.
He faces off and it's like, pew.
I'm thinking more like the
Whoa, that was almost bad.
I'm thinking almost like the Star Wars sequels, where it's like the Republic is like the dominant power, and like the New Order is like this outside fringe movement. But then they have a super weapon that lets them like knock the New Republic's army out in one go. So now they have to be a scrappy resistance, like toughen it up, punching upwards against this big bad empire that's super big and scary.
Your guns stand nothing for these guns. Boom, boom,
So it's
firepower.
not like which should have been like a conflict between two at least roughly equivalent states. Now again has to be the scrappy kingdom of hyper wealthy immortal super soldiers who drink blood and like can punch through rocks.
And a dragon.
Is up against now like the undead
dragon.
hordes and the little power of divine wrath. It's so
Poppy's so excited. She's like, we have dragons, and Reaver's like, dragon.
no, it's
One.
like,
Just me.
so it's
Sorry,
like,
guys.
And then the bad guy's like, we have an army. The guys are like, we have Atlanteans. Like they're like, we have like revenants. We have dragons. And then it's like, we have gods. So we have literal divine power on our side.
have Sir Wilhelmina's sex book.
Yes,
And
well,
the-
I have a sexy book.
The guy's like, we have other better gods that are stronger and awake, and we just have to like
But to
engender the scenario in which they're able to act. And it's like,
to your point, though, about that concept of like authors kind of having this hard on for the scrappy underdog sort of take on a narrative, because it's no secret that a lot of fantasy books.
good tussled ruffian.
I love a man covered in dirt, but but my point to that is that
I love a dirty man.
absolutely, but the issue I have with that concept is I feel like a lot of authors will have like war stories in fantasy, because like, you know, in a lot of fantasy books, you know, everything's gearing up to a war, which is fine, but I feel like a lot of these fantasy authors, like I said about SJM and I feel about her too, get in over their head where it's like, it doesn't have to be a war. You didn't have to write a story that ends in a war. And if it's getting to this point where you don't know what to write, where you have to keep upping the ante, and then like you want the good guys to be these underdogs, the problem is, and I hate being so frank and like, because it makes me sound judgmental, and I don't mean
Don't
it.
be Frank, be Rory.
Shut up. I don't mean it this way, but I just mean it for like the sake of your own sanity in writing. Like, to do an underdog story, you have to be, for lack of a better word, a really smart writer, because you're gonna have to come up with clever ways for your underdogs to prevail without just having this ridiculous, well, now all of a sudden I have a dragon because I'm an immortal god out of nowhere. Like,
I
you know
think,
what I mean? Like,
I think Divergent did it pretty okay.
yeah, like, well, it started out okay. But I see your point that, like, you know, to have a story where there's two sides of a conflict and you're the underdog, the author is going to have to contrive ways that are smart to be
you
satisfied.
haven't read this book, Six of Crows. That's a great one.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
literally
I believe
a
you.
band of a few thieves who break into a highly guarded prison using just their like mental like gymnastics.
Yeah, like I'm not saying it has to solely be like that the characters are smart, but the author has to be smart.
Lee Bardugo's smart. So I
Because
would agree.
you're not an underdog if it's not clear that you are at a severe disadvantage and you're not going to win without some circumstance that the author comes up with that is both smart and satisfying
and feasible.
and feasible to make them win the day despite being the underdog. It's like they're not quite understanding like what an underdog is because they're not really putting the good guys in the amount of peril they need to be in for me to believe.
dragon!
Yeah, like for me to believe that they don't have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
So yeah, it's like it's kind of like this race to see who unlocks the super weapon first.
Right,
And
it's like you're
so-
both unlocking fucking levels in a video game. Like it's just like,
I'm
well,
powering up.
I got new skin. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's like,
My new cloak
Yeah.
gives me 15 damage protection. What about yours? Nothing, huh?
yeah, like it's like that. You know, that's perfect.
So yeah, so Rory makes a very good point that it just feels like this was maybe not the route to have this climax of the story go. Is like if you're just gonna keep like finding ways to negate the obvious advantages of the good guys, like through a way that feels very cheap, like this spell thing. It's like, could they do this the whole time? Do they have more of those? Can they do it again? Why didn't they do it on the good guys all at once?
Well, and
Why just the dragons?
You know what else they do that drives me nuts with the war thing? And SJM glossed over, like SJM to her minimal credit, because fuck her, but like to her minimal credit, she tried, but she's a bad writer and she's lazy, so she didn't. But you know how in like Kingdom of Ash and stuff, you hear about all these battles that happened? Like, you don't actually see them, but you hear about battles going on. So to her minimal credit, the fact that she has multiple battles, so to speak, in this large war.
This doesn't feel like a lived-in world. It feels like the only thing that's happening in this world is what's happening within like a 15-meter proximity of Poppy.
Right, because like
Or Castiel.
it's like you want to have a war, quote unquote, but then it's possible that the good guys can win some battles and still be worried they're going to lose the war.
There's
Like,
skirmishes.
it's like I see this a lot in fantasy where like we're building up to this big war, but the big war is just like one big battle.
I like how the only word of wisdom that this ancient dragon can give to Poppy in this time of need is, you shouldn't be wandering around.
Yeah, thanks, dragon.
Thank you for your centuries, millennia of insight.
Yeah, and also what's hilarious about Reaver is he's a servant of Nyktos, right? Like, so she met him because she went to Nyktos directly, who told her nothing of value.
No.
And Reaver is a servant of Nyktos who's been alive for like forever and is literally a direct, like, has presumably had contact with Nyktos. Never tells her anything valuable about him either.
Reaver is one of the main characters in the prequel novellas, and Nyktos is the main love interest of the prequels.
That makes me so angry because he does not tell Poppy anything
No.
important or useful this whole time.
Like, going between the prequels and these books, I read them in the order that you're recommended to read, whatever. But it was so ridiculous because I'm like, oh, where's Reaver? This isn't Reaver. This is a bitch.
It's a husk of a man.
Yeah, so I get like maybe I haven't read those yet. I probably will want to get around to them because I'm a completionist. But like, even just as someone who like wasn't fully aware of those yet at the time I was finishing this, I knew they existed, didn't think they were important. There were moments in this book that very obviously felt like they were meant to be referencing something. Like if they weren't like a build up to something to like the next set of books, it was definitely like
Alluding to something that historically had happened.
like this is you're drawing too much attention to this and there's too much detail to like for as like too much detail and not enough information
Yeah.
to like not know this is referencing like there's like a bit I feel there's a lot of like gasp moments I didn't understand like
I think that prequels should operate under the mantra of they enhance the story that you are currently reading, the main series, but your understanding of the main series should not hinge on your completion of the prequels.
Agreed.
yeah so like that's
So
what
like with Star Wars, the 4, 5, 6 came out first, obviously, and then the prequels came out, but nothing in the prequels made you say like, oh, like that makes me finally understand why they said this in episode 5. Like, no, it enhanced the original story, added depth.
Yeah.
What this series does is it makes you almost need to read the prequels in order to understand the proceedings of what's going on, which is, again, stay with me, Poor writing.
I was gonna say
Well, yeah,
bullshit.
so yeah, like I said, it's like
Bullshit.
So that's why
Poor
I said,
shit.
There's not a moment I think was supposed to be like a gasp moment, like oh my gosh, that's the thing. But it's like I don't know what that is. I haven't read those
No,
books
it's
yet.
it's
so.
not. And like, I can't even talk about it because you don't know who she is. But like the original maiden, Noah, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember her. I feel like she was an important book. I forget her name.
She was important in the main series, but they never refer to her by name because her name isn't supposed to be uttered.
But she's also a weird retcon too. Like,
But she's not a retcon. She existed.
I'm saying that
Exists.
the thing is that there's clearly some inconsistencies where she came up with that later. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing with the prequels is that clearly wasn't planned out because Poppy's explicitly told that there was no other maiden and that's a lie. And then you find out that that's not true. Like, we're told there was a maiden before you, and then we're told there's not a maiden before you. It was all a lie. And then we're like, JK, that's also not true. Like,
We're also being told that there's no
Jackson was
such
really
thing as a
important and
primal
vital.
of life and death, and there's no such thing
You
as
know
a
what I'm
this
saying?
and this, and like
it just feels like she didn't think this through at all, which I'm sorry, I fucking hate. I hate that. I hate when authors don't think things through. You need to think it through. I can tell when you didn't think it through.
because we have questions that can't be answered, and if you are the author, you should have a tangible answer for everything that you pose.
Right, exactly.
Like, did you know that in earlier Harry Potter books, they actually saw the diadem?
Interesting.
Like, you met the diadem in like book 5 or book 6.
That's funny. Why would they when they were in the
They were in the room of requirement, like
requirement?
stashing something away, and they came across the diadem and touched it and put it back.
That's hilarious.
Like, it was there for a reason. There's no negligible points of effective storytelling. It might take a little bit to come to a resolution, but that's a careful balance of disseminating relevant information as the story progresses and just bombarding them with information because it's pertinent.
So this next thing that happens while she's out talking to Reaver, this was like the only time this book actually got me. It was like literally a fleeting moment of, oh, that was actually good. Because when Castiel's captured, I was like, he'll be fine. Like, he's fucking fine. And then all of a sudden, Kieran shows up and is like, Poppy, you've got to come here.
No, because the audiobooks do give them all accents.
Yeah, they do. They all have accents. It's fucking hilarious. So Kieran's like, Poppy, we've got mail. and she's like, oh,
You've got
shit.
mail.
Yeah, she's like, shit. And so it's a box that was mailed to her, and inside the box is Castiel's finger, which I was like, oh, you got me, book. You got me. Like, it was the one time I was like, damn, she did something actually kind of interesting. Shit. Like,
Death.
I was like, that was actually
On
kind
the
of
finger.
badass. That
But
she sends
shouldn't Poppy
his
have
finger.
noticed that when they fucked, like, in her dream?
Maybe this happened after. I don't know.
But, like,
Maybe
one
you
of
don't
your...
wanna bring it.
Again... Poppy, you're here again. Oh my god, I'm so glad it wasn't a dream. She cut off my finger.
But what's fucked up about it too is that it's his ring finger with his wedding ring
Yep.
on it, which
That was good.
ooh, I was like, okay.
He's probably gonna be able to grow it back, like knowing these fucking like lizard tails or
He's like,
whatever.
Actually, he's gonna be like, actually, Poppy, Atlanteans are like sea sponges. We can throw back our fingers. Oh no, I just dropped the microphone.
That was intentional. It was very badass. You just didn't see it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, we're like sea sponges. We can grow back our limbs. Like, yeah, you're so right. But that was actually cool. I was like, you got me, book. Okay. And then it gets shitty again.
And then Poppy
Rages! She unleashes her power.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Say it.
Unleashes her power. Dude, these books, you can't have a fantasy book without a good, like,
Unleash
a scream of power. Like,
primal energy.
I just always think of, like, fucking X-Men. Like, where she's like, you know what I mean? Like, so hilarious.
I can't. I'm dead.
So-
I'm crying.
So, inside is Castiel's finger. Oh, it's his pointer finger.
You
But it-
fucking liar.
But it has his wedding ring on it. It does.
But you lied.
And so I knew it had his ring
Damn.
on it, but
he
they
touched
don't.
my clit with that finger.
I know, right? So how is he gonna finger bang me now?
That was my favorite appendage of his. I mean, second favorite.
So Kieran slaps the lid shut, and Poppy rages, and she starts. marching back towards the castle with the intention to go after the Blood Queen for hurting Castile.
I'm gonna go save Castile.
I'm gonna go save Castile. So the energy inside her starts to like whip this fierce storm because all of a sudden she can like she's again a fucking X-Men and she can like control the weather when she's that was so loud. But this is like such an annoying trope that you can just like can change the weather and like cause storms because you're pissed.
I'm so sorry.
Like, you know, so anyway, it's like, you know, nobody ever thought to figure out how to control that power. Like, everyone's just okay with her, like, causing...
Having this raw,
Right.
untamed energy. Like, that's what would get you killed.
Exactly. Like, nobody thinks, maybe we should figure out how you can control this.
Like, as Noah will attest, in Fourth Wing, when someone has a power that they're not supposed to, the answer is death.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing in Fourth Wing. It's like if you have like a too powerful magic power, or if it's like one.
It's a
mind
special
stuff, you're
power that
just-
allows you to read the minds,
Yeah,
and that's like...
you're immediately summarily put to death.
Yeah. Like,
oh, wow.
like, fantasy series should be more ruthless with putting down unhinged people.
Yeah.
That's like I read these books in this. I dropped the thing again. It was very cool. There's this. So I guess if we're going down this little side tangent, I read this book series called The Dresden Files. I find it fun, and like in that series, like there's like wizards and there's like a council, the White Council, that can regulates them.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's only like 7 laws of magic that you're forced to follow. One of those is like.
One should not
Similar to
cover
that
thy
is, like,
neighbor's
two of them are
wife.
basically you can't read anyone's mind, you can't control anyone's mind, and if you violate any of the 7 laws, you're immediately just beheaded.
Yeah.
But it's not even about that. Like, sorry, not to interrupt you, but just like, I don't even think that's relevant. It's not relevant, but I don't think it's quite the same in the situation. Like, where what's concerning me really is not so much that why has nobody killed her yet. It's more like, why are the good guys never, like, routinely not thinking that this could be important somehow? Like, we're discovering that Poppy's literally a god, and she has these insane powers that literally could, like, bring about insane amounts of carnage and destruction, but only when she's emotional and can't...
weather patterns.
Yeah, and weather patterns, but only when she's emotional and can't control it. And I'm like, if you're on the good guy's side, like, why is nobody like, oh my god, we have
let's hone this.
Yeah, we have a god who has god powers, but we're just
gonna let her rage out over a pointer finger.
right, like we're just gonna keep treating her like she's Poppy the Maiden and like doesn't have any
she's
other.
Poppy she's Penelope, the God Queen.
Right, like what is going on? It's the same thing with Kieran being so chill about Castile being captured. I'm like, why is everyone acting like this?
Yeah, so like that's sort of my thing with these.
There's no urgency here.
Well, not so much as there's no urgency with me, at least. That wasn't my read. My issue is that this is again more of a genre-wide thing I take issue with here. In a lot of cases, that a lot of the time you get these characters in these books where it's like they have like this very unique, very like 1 in a million kind of like power-ups above everyone else.
The chosen hero story.
Chosen hero one, like, you know, they're the one that does special super magic or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like there's always people saying we need to train you to control these powers. But it feels like it's always a point that no matter how hard they try, it feels like it's never won through effort and study and practice. It's like just I couldn't make anything happen until some emotional like upsurge, and then I like dropped
I think
them
that's a
out on
really
somebody.
horrible philosophy to have with Poppy, though, because we've already established that she has the discipline to hone a craft of like combat, and she's been doing this silently for years. So implying that she's not able to hone her craft of like this raw, untamed magic is kind of like reductive to her.
But on top of that, because one could argue, and I've seen it in other books, and like, it's fine to have a character who's got special powers. We all love special powers.
That's why we read it.
That's why we read it. The thing is, it makes more sense in other books where if the character really is unique, like nobody can teach them how to hone these powers because nobody else has them.
But all these people know more about her powers than she does.
Right! All these people have explained to her in very detail, like, who she is, what she is, and why.
Like
so why is nobody capable
The argument
of...
is obsolete in that case.
So why is nobody capable of telling her how to do this? Like, it's one
They're
thing...
dumbasses, Rory, and I'm getting tired of this.
So anyway, Kieran talks her down, and she's like, okay, I won't go destroy everything. And because he says like it's going to disrupt their plans, which if she could literally just bring down the kingdom by herself in
Why
a
not?
rage, why not?
Why not?
Was
We've
that
already
Kieran
established
in
they're
that
bad.
instance, or was that the handmaiden who stopped her from destroying
No,
the
no,
city?
it's Kieran. It's Kieran.
Okay, so there's like another thing later in the book where like she also is on a rampage and wants to destroy a city, and then like the queen's handmaiden, who's like a revenant, like stops her like by appealing to her
That-
morality. Like
Yes, but
These are-
there's
these-
also extra nuance to that.
Yeah.
there's nuance to that too. But like, here's my thing though is like, this feels like it's meant to be like a big epic moment, or like as something like, oh, Poppy's about to go ape shit and do something and stuff. But then it's like bolt into it's kind of like a record scratch thing, you know, like in like a TV show where it's like something's happening, like that, like oh, got interrupted from the thing. It's like, okay, so what was the point? It's like I
Where's
twice
this forward
reminded Poppy
momentum
could
going?
be epic devastation. That probably could have been tactically advantageous. You could do it at any other time besides near a major civilian population center, and then both times it's like cut off. It's like, is Poppy gonna go crazy? Is all the people who doubted her justified? But it's
Next time on.
like, but then it's like in both instances she's immediately like forced to back down. She just kind of walks away frustrated, and me too. I'm like, okay, so nothing was accomplished here.
No,
That's what I mean. I'm like, if she wants to go apeshit,
Like,
why not?
Even in the thing later in the book, I think she damages the walls, and they make mention that those walls will probably be repaired basically to functionality, probably like within the day, or like soon enough that like destroying them was irrelevant. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah. So then something even stupider happens. So
She almost dies.
they burn Castiel's finger. She keeps the ring, but
Ow.
they decide that they're going to go after Castiel once they take over Oak Ambler, which, again, this is so stupid. What do you mean?
Why do you care about Oak Ambler so much?
Well, it's not even Oak Ambler. I'm like, what do you mean you're just going to go after Castiel? Isn't that literally what you've been doing? Isn't that the whole point, that you have to win the war to get him back? It's like...
No, they think that that you can get the hostage back before negotiations.
Right, like, and like, it's so funny, like, as if this was an option they weren't choosing. Like, they're like, yes, we're fighting a war. Oh, now we can go save Castiel. I'm like, what do you mean?
Now that his finger is off of his body?
I'm like, I thought the whole point of the war was that's how you get him back. Apparently not.
No, apparently you can solve that thing without actually solving the war thing.
Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, it feels
The
like
war rages on for 2 more books.
I mean,
so.
it feels like the situation has not changed. He's still fully within captivity, and,
Right.
and your ability to reach him has not been altered.
So, like, what do you mean you're all just gonna go off on your own? So anyway, the fucking queen puts Venetta, Kieran's sister, a Wolven, in charge as regent, while she goes and puts her life in peril to get her husband back.
Not her parents-in-law, who were already reigning for years.
Yeah, but Venetta, her gal pal, who
Yeah.
she knew for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and
Cool.
honestly does not know
Loyalty,
that,
unwavering.
does not know that well or that long.
Mm-mm.
So that and again, has no clear qualifications for leading an organization of this size.
Other than that, she's sexually and emotionally attracted to her brother.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, this
That-
is where your
that
old
does
lady
make-
comes in, Noah.
Oh, yeah, that's
So she's wandering around the castle at night,
Reaver told her not to.
and this old woman who's been hanging around the castle just has access to the fucking Queen of Atlantia and tries to stab her, claiming she serves the true king, which is weird because there's only queens right now. And after that, this same old woman who gets away, she sets this major storm and ends up killing the Draken, and only 3 of them are alive after this.
So this random old woman was able to single-handedly take down their biggest
like
weaponry force.
Well, I mean, like this, like no, not just like.
Wait a minute.
It's not just.
Who are you?
Well, it's not just like the major asset denial of like the bad guys managed to one shot one of their biggest like advantages in this war. It's that they like you get this like legion of like millennia old super warriors who are like combination of man and beast who can rain like destruction, or like the personal war dogs of like the god of death. And this old woman who's apparently been hiding in this random backwoods city for like who knows how long has apparently been infused with the magical powers to lay them all low, with 3 surviving by luck.
And she doesn't even have a name. She's
No.
just an old woman.
The old woman. I think that this completely provides a great amount of insight to the actual tactical proceedings of Atlantia, Because isn't that so sad? You're like a country that's like a big war country, a big fighting country. Ooh, ooh, we got our big armor, we got the wolf, and we got the primal energy. But a single woman was able to sneak through your guards. It was able to get direct access to your queen and kill your dragons. Dragons.
Here's my thing, though, is that like, I feel like
what?
after this moment, though, is like after she tries to stab her, so like she doesn't do this right away. So the things events is she tries to stab Poppy in the library after acting weird and doddery.
Yeah.
And then Poppy has her confined to her quarters, not thrown
Instead
in a
of just
dungeon.
trying to kill her, because she did try to kill the people who tried to kill her when she went somewhere before, but now that this woman explicitly tries to kill her, she's like, let's keep her safe.
I think she like a sign of mercy. It's like, oh, she's just an old woman who's probably crazy. Let's not hurt her. And,
Yeah,
like,
let's not let her run
guards are
rampant.
describing like she just did in fact try to stab you and very nearly succeeded, and like so we should probably have her confined. But like my issue here is that it tries to become like an example of Poppy's mercy. Like she isn't like the others. She isn't gonna like just be handing out like death sentences, which by the way her husband did earlier in the previous books, like very arbitrarily and
Yeah, he
publicly for much more justifiable reasons. For much less justifiable reasons, but like and this woman then proceeds to like have the ability like has like something on her person or is able to draw like a spell circle in her like apartment or locked up like
Why
room,
didn't you search her
which
persons?
allows her to. I forget what happened. Basically, for whatever reason, she's able to create a spell circle that enables her to cast this spell and kill these Draken. So, and my thing with that is that like this is the one example of Poppy trying to show benevolence as a ruler, and it immediately catastrophically backfires.
I would resign.
Well, I can see that, but like here's my thing. It's like benevolence. It's like for all these this is like the good and just kingdom. It feels like benevolence almost always inevitably backfires.
Yeah.
In
Like,
this universe, it does.
Yeah, in that same book I mentioned, like he killed a guy who rightfully said, "I don't feel comfortable like letting the former like figurehead of the state church of our main enemy like be our queen," which
rips
you just
his heart out from his body
in public in front of his friends and comrades. Like they let this family who escaped the kingdom she was living in because their baby was going to be taken away for the ascension ceremony. That guy like
betrays her.
They lost the child to it before. He betrays her and is executed by Castile, and then the wife flees with the son and is later killed by the Ascended. So that whole family like fled and died anyway. But it's like they let those people in as refugees, and they immediately had their trust betrayed, and they all died anyway. So it's like, and there's very few examples where like
I would build a wall.
there's very few examples. It feels like where
Keep those foreigners
doing
out.
like being kind and just and merciful doesn't always just backfire. It's like, no, the great answer was you should have killed them when you had the chance. If you ever have a foe at your mercy, go for the kill. Don't hesitate. Don't speech. Just drive that sword home. Like, don't let them get the chance to come back for you. This they will.
I mean, we can take this whole thing as one of two ways. Castile knows the environment that he's in, and Poppy doesn't. Or Poppy just doesn't care for her life. Like, Castile has been exposed to this his whole life. I don't think he turned innately to, like, immediate violence because he feels like that's the right thing to do. He might have been forced into the position where he sees this kind of discourse happen over the whole time. The whole time he's been alive.
Maybe I'm grasping at straws or,
You
like,
might be.
getting a little too philosophical about it. But, it just... This kind of thing rubs me the wrong way because it's like... Castile, like Noah said... the things he's done to, kill his enemies or whatever, and the way Poppy is showing all this, like, benevolence to show the audience that she's, like, a good person, it feels very, like, gender role stereotypy.
It feels like the patriarchal kind of execution of justice, and it feels like the matriarchal execution of justice.
Right, like, it just feels like she's really buying into that crap where it's, like, that... Of course, of the two of them, Poppy's the one who's trying to be benevolent and her bleeding heart is getting her in trouble. Like...
Even though she's had no reason her entire life to believe in anyone or show benevolence towards anyone. She was locked up in a tower being told what her destiny was, excluded from society. I'm wondering how she came to be as benevolent as she is in a leadership role.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't have an issue... in general, so to say.
I do.
I don't have an issue in general, so to say, with the concept that you want your main character to be good, right? Like you
good
want...
is subjective, though.
I know, but I just mean, like, from the author's perspective, that you want your main character to do things that, to us and to you, feel moral.
I think
But
executing someone who tried to stab the queen is is good.
yes, I agree. But my point in bringing that up is that she doesn't do that with the male characters because the male characters' actions are always justified because it's for love.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas for Poppy, it's for the sake of goodness. And I actually find that that's more harmful in our gender role issue because for men. Like, it doesn't make women look worse, in my opinion.
No, we're used to it.
Like, it makes women look bad in the sense that, like, it's that stereotype of, like, a woman's bleeding heart. She's not a hardened warrior like these men, and so, of course, she gets herself into trouble with her bleeding heart. Now, that's problematic on its own. But the other problem that I really fucking hate is why I get these fantasy authors want to have these hyper masculine, sexy men who, like, you know, are like these warriors or whatever. But I'm like, but is he incapable of any kind of kindness or empathy at all? It's just his wife. Like, that just feels very medieval. Like, I'm like the medieval, like, appeal to my wife, to my good sense, so I don't execute this man. Like, you
Well,
know what
he
I
is
mean?
hundreds of years old, so
Like, I'm just like, but aren't you supposed to be king?
it's a bit draconian.
Like, you're supposed to be king. You don't have any sense of justice. It's like this weird medieval patriarchal role that your wife has to be the one to plead with you to be merciful. Like, I just feel like that is playing into these gender stereotypes when this book has clearly tried to.
It's weird how they try to liberate women in some ways and then
Yeah,
completely
right.
put down. Like, it's liberating sexually. No one can argue that. But, like, I don't want to be liberated sexually if I'm not also liberated intellectually
Well,
or
like,
in my power.
Let's be real. Like, all of these romantasy books, like, want to imbue some level of postmodern feminism into their books. Now, most of them fail because these patriarchal virtues are so ingrained in your brain that, like, this is what comes out of it. But it's not real history. Do you know what I mean? Like, you made this up. This is all fake. Apparently in Atlantia we have fucking pipes and plumbing when historically that doesn't make sense. And she says things in these books like with the arrow and the sword being crossed even and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff where it's very clear that you're trying to do, like,
But you're failing miserably.
right, but you're failing because you're still buying into this, like, gender role nonsense where, like, it's okay for Castile to be likable as a character because he's a man, even when he's doing things that are, like,
Objectively bad.
cruel or heartless. And
But they're for his heart mate.
but it's for Poppy, it's for the kingdom, and that scene is justified, but Poppy has to be the one to, like, have any kind of empathy, and then, like Noah said, it fucking backfires in her face.
Makes sense.
You know? Did that make sense?
So yeah, I mean, it feels like it's meant to be like it's very thin version of moral grayness and such, and so that's my thing. It's like also him executing that guy. I think the guy might have been trying to reach for a knife for Poppy, like that thing when he whipped the heart out. But here's my thing: is that, again, it's kind of confusing. About it kind of raises questions about how the kingdom works, how his kingdom works, Atlantia, because this is the kind of thing that's in my head when I think about this.
We don't know. Like, we're not told anything. We're given
scraps,
like
there's
rattling fucking hands.
Like we do see it. We meet we do meet the governing body of this.
No,
this kingdom.
we
meet
meet
the
them, but
council.
we don't get any substance. We're told who they are.
No, like he's like, we meet the council, and they apparently have a great deal of authority. On
Okay,
top
tell
of
me what they do.
King and queen. They seem to.
What did the council do?
Let me just explain my point here.
Oh, sorry. I was getting
So I'm saying
riled up.
he, as a member of the royal family, has the right to summarily execute any number of their subjects on the spot with no greater justification than he deemed it necessary at the time. Like, that's not the only guy he kills. Like, some other guys try to attack Poppy, and he has them basically put to death on the spot. Like, there's no clear idea there was a trial. He just presumably had them taken out back and, like, beheaded. Or one of them was full on crucified, had his corpse, still living body, hung above the doorway where they all go to eat.
Horrific, actually.
Pretty
Like, one of them
gory.
is tortured and has his body crucified above the doorway as a warning to everyone. And like that, the doorway, by the way, to the communal eating hall where everyone goes to eat every night. So everyone.
I got a bit of blood on my forehead.
So here's, and that's my thing though. Like, they can really do that, but there's a whole big conflict though that a lot of the council members don't trust Poppy. Again, kind of justifiably.
She's an outsider. She's completely an outsider.
So they have the right to they're kind of like hamstringing the war effort, or like the ability to like place Poppy on the throne properly as Castile's wife. And I'm like, so these people have the ability to kind of like can gainsay the royal family, but they also like the women can still have people killed at their own leisure. And here's my thing, though. It's like, it's trying to kind of like...
It just feels disjointed is what it feels.
It's disjointed. Here's my thing. It's kind of, they clearly want to be the good kingdom. It's that they want to bring in aspects of, like, representational democracy where, like, there's a body that you don't have just one arbitrary leader who's, like, able to enact their will at whim. There's a governing body that serves as a check on them, and they represent the will of the popular will of the people. But they can still have people killed whenever they feel like it without due cause or justification. And it's like whenever they deem it. So it's like, we're both like, I'm still authoritarian, that I can make the hard decisions. I'm a masculine man and I am twisted and must make the hard choices. But also, I'm not like a dictator or something.
Yeah. I've got a council that keeps
killed
me in
at
checks
my
and
word.
balances, but I can still crucify you about the mess hall.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
real.
they're trying to be like a constitutional monarchy, but like they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So what they do is the people on the council write sex books.
yeah, with their free time. Because everyone
Which
knows.
is seemingly abundant.
Yeah,
Okay,
everyone
so
knows
you-
government officials should have that much free time to write smutty
No,
books.
they shouldn't. Not consider our current
But-
political climate.
So she has that old woman killed after the old woman kills all these Draken.
Find a fucking lady.
Which-
Thank you
yeah.
for growing a pair
But
of
we're
balls.
knowing that she doesn't have her captured and like tried or anything. They are forced to kill her on the
But
spot
here's the
to
thing.
stop it.
Why
so-
didn't you fucking before you killed her? Like, how did you not figure out how she did that? Everyone's just like befuddled. They're like, "Whoa, shit, bro, that was crazy." Like, what the?
Off of their head!
Like,
Someone also has crazy magic. Ah!
everybody's dropping things. We're getting so
Someone
excited.
also has crazy magical abilities that can kill our Draken, but
Right.
we're just gonna put you to death before we find out what the hell's going
Well,
on.
I mean,
Nobody
in
looks
fairness
into
to them,
that.
in fairness to them, it wasn't like they had her like pacified and able to be interrogated, and they're like forced to kill her while she's in the middle, like floating, like she's like.
an old woman.
Well, I think like she's like channeling magic, and they like stab her. as she's, like,
But then Poppy should have tried to like heal her at least a little. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. So like, I don't like discount the fact that they killed her. It's weird that this whole thing even happened.
I think
like,
it's more upsetting that Poppy's power didn't come to save Poppy, and instead she was just like,
But just picture the absurdity of this, just to put this, and then we can move on from this fucking old woman. But like, just put this into perspective. Like, what if this is basically what happened with this old woman killing the fucking Draken? It would be like if fucking like during like Harry Potter, like Ron Weasley was like murdered by like table number 3. Like, you're just like, what?
not the Hufflepuff table.
What is going on? Like, you're like, what? Or like, it's like, oh my God, Harry, all the house elves in Hogwarts were brutally murdered last night.
Yeah, like
By
if you're gonna
Filch.
have a woman
by
who's strong,
Filch. Yeah, you're like, what? But
if you're gonna have a woman who's strong enough to kill 3 of your Draken, you better be ready to stand on your toes and justify, because that's the absolute craziest.
Not kill 3 of Draken, all but 3 of
All
Draken.
but 3 of the Draken. I thought it was 3 of 7.
every
Sorry.
house elf in Hogwarts was murdered by Pavarti Patel. Like, you'd be like, what?
And then
the
they're like,
fuck?
and then it's like, all right, let's go to the burrow.
Yeah, you're like,
Guess we gotta just make do now.
Let's go to Malfoy's cellar and rescue everyone now. All right, bye.
like, that's so crazy.
We've got other problems, bigger fish to fry.
So that was literally like my brain exploded from that. That was fucking insane.
It was again disjointed, but we've been harping on this
Because we have to, because that's absolute
because we
insanity.
have to.
But so
It's
anyway,
our obligation as reporters.
after
Not
they
reporters.
kill this woman, Poppy meets alone with Castiel's father, King Valen, and he tells her that he knew exactly who Isbeth was from the beginning. So the whole big reveal that Queen
It's bitch.
Iluana, or what was her fake name?
Iluana. I think.
Iluana or something. That Queen Iluana the whole time was Isbeth. They knew the whole time.
Again, it's just like that's not how this works.
Why
Right.
didn't you say anything?
Like we were making some very important decisions under very specific assumptions that did not include like this information you apparently had in your back pocket the whole time.
And it was her mother.
Dude, like, I don't think they knew that she was Poppy's mother. But here's the thing. Why, is this a secret at all? Why do any Atlanteans call her anything but Isbeth? Because, like, Isbeth is actually this very important, like, quote-unquote mythical figure who is the reason for the creation of the Ascended, right? And don't forget, Castiel's mom would know exactly who she is because she was married to the guy who cheated on her to make Isbeth. So why do they play into this bullshit that she's got a fake name and are calling her by this pseudonym when they know who she is? Everyone should know exactly who she is.
Yeah, I mean,
why is this a secret?
It's worth noting, especially that like they Poppy does to her credit call them out on this, and the thing is like the queen, Castiel's mother, like she kind of admits it was just that I was still kind of hurt by it. My pride was stung. My husband cheated on me. I really cared about him, and this really hurt me. Like I would have. I'm annoyed by like pseudo magical excuses to explain why critical information wasn't available. I at least would have like seen okay, well at least it was magic. It's like no, I just felt really bad about it. It's like,
but that's so stupid. That's like
your pride is not as important as this war going on.
But dude, that's like after World War II ends, like oh the war is over. Because don't forget, like this caused a whole big war, and the Atlanteans are like really, really fucking old to the point where like Castiel's mother was involved in all of this because she was again the wife of this guy Malek. So like,
Malek.
How does nobody know this? It would be like after World War II, like that Winston Churchill just decided he was gonna start going by Glenn, and everybody just starts calling him that. Like you're
you were Winston Churchill.
It's like, no, that guy's fucking Winston Churchill. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, you'd be like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, how is this a secret?
Well, again, it's like, it feels like it's kind of this kind of like, there's a lot of information that is revealed that turns out people had the whole time, and it feels like there's very thin justifications for it. It's like...
And that is why I discontinued the second book of the prequel series, because they kept talking to me like I was dumb.
So
they kept revealing information only as it was like necessary in dire constraints, like oh no the castle's burning down. Well, I know where the water fountain is. Okay.
Oh, thanks for that.
That would have been really helpful to put out the fire with the candle that started this whole thing before we got this far, but like
so dumb.
But like that's my thing is again it's like it does kind of to me smell of like kind
stupidity
of this like she kind of wrote a lot. I think she like wrote this first book and then like kind of wrote this whole big lore afterward and realized once she started writing the books to go with it that like...
She's like, oh, I can do something with this.
No, it's like that. It's like, oh, these characters who I decided were involved with these big events in the past should have no reason to not know this information nor share it.
That's also true. It almost feels like a retcon for Valen to go back and say, oh, by the way, I did know. Or like it feels like, yeah. You were alive at that time. You should have known her. Like, why didn't you... What?
Yeah, like, wait a second, no, you were around this event, you should be fully aware of the information, have no reason to not share it freely. And so it's like,
yeah, and again,
oh my god, I just remembered, like, this critical information about how this thing works.
And again,
and it's
why
like,
is it a secret?
Like,
wouldn't that be propaganda in Atlantia that, like, the evil bitch who, like, slept with the king and, like, became an evil vampire is creating a whole kingdom of vampire? Like,
that would deserve a political caricature.
Like,
well, man, it feels like that's like propaganda that writes itself. It's like
right.
the wicked
Why
woman
is
who like the evil like temptress who seduced our king away from his beloved wife, who we all like, and like went away and invented a species of monsters that want to eat everyone, and like that's also, by the way, objectively true. So like that's not making it up. That is tangibly, provably, demonstrably true, and also so we should all justifiably be very upset about all of that.
Isbeth actually wrote an autobiography saying how I did it, and then she gave it. We have the proof.
Dude, this is insane. So like, this is also insane. Is what Poppy's plan is? Yeah, is to go to fucking
Castile.
So
Castile and the Castle?
So we're going to take a break, but when we get back, it's literally going to be Poppy and Kieran on a super secret mission where they get caught immediately.
And then everything resolves really immediately, too.
Yeah, and they're going to be on a super secret mission, and we're going to see what Castile's up to in the meantime.
I feel like moving forward, we just need to, like, can we just, like, start a tally on every time we, like, hit our heads against the wall? Because I feel like that's just what's necessary to get through this book. Like, I need to bring myself to a state of concussed.
I need one of those buttons where you press it, it's like, that was stupid.
I'll make one of those for us. I know how to make them.
Yeah, do it. Because
was stupid.
that's what we need.
That was
stupid.
dumb. All right. You know, it's not dumb. Us. We'll be back in a few.
I'm just very confused to what they do and do not have in these places. Like, I'm very confused.
Yeah,
You have electricity.
We're all confused. Me and Roni went on a whole rant about this last episode. You don't need to rehash it, but
The episode that was deleted from history.
No. The book 3.
yeah.
We literally talked about because they go to Atlanta or book 2 or something, and we literally had a whole conversation about how stupid it is that they have like running water and electricity, but they don't have railroads.
But they have like people dying in the gallows.
Yeah.
What's powering the electricity? Do they have power plants? What's the fuel source?
I know. That's what I said.
That's
There's no
what we
gas.
said,
Like
too.
I literally, believe me, it's been covered, Noah.
Do they have windmill power?
Is it on, by the way? Oh God, pause it. Okay, are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, hi guys, we're back. So anyway,
We left off on the final chapter where Poppy dies.
no. So anyway, we're back to Castile. He's in prison still, and those handmaidens keep visiting him, and one of them has a name, so of course she's going to be important, and her name is Millicent, and she
Like the
tells
Wicked
him,
Witch.
yes. What? What are you talking about? Okay.
Like Maleficent?
Maleficent.
Oh,
She wasn't a
she
witch.
wasn't
She was a dark
Yeah,
fae.
what? Okay.
Learn your lore, Ronnie.
I'm sorry.
She let the intrusive thought win on that
I did.
comment. But so he's
I always
visited by Millicent, who he thinks is a revenant.
She is a revenant.
Well, yes.
To his knowledge, she is a
To his
revenant.
knowledge, she's a revenant. And she says some creepy shit to him that Poppy is the harbinger of death and destruction, and he's gonna be the one to kill her one day.
Is it Noah?
Hmm?
Do you recall Harbinger?
I do recall that, yeah.
I forget when.
Was that the old lady who was saying that?
Harbinger.
Yeah, in the
It's a
audiobooks,
thing.
that was like a way it was pronounced by someone. We're forgetting who. I think it was the old woman we mentioned before. Like
I
she
think
was,
so.
she was
I
the one
think she
saying about
alluded to the
people.
fact that Poppy is this harbinger of death.
But the thing is, like, why does this girl know this?
Yeah, is there like a
And-
prophecy?
Is
Are
she
we
a-
also dealing with a prophecy
Spoiler
now?
alert! Spoiler alert! She is not a prophet. She cannot see the future, as far as we know in this book. She has no special powers whatsoever.
She's just making up shit.
So she's just saying shit.
This is hearsay.
I don't know where she's getting this information.
Exactly.
Neither does Castile.
Fake news.
But for some reason, it affects him.
She probably heard it on Fox.
I know. She's like just spouting it. That's how you know it's nonsense. It's gonna be retconned in a later book. But so Castile's brother Malik,
Malik.
who is not Malek,
Malec.
right? So his brother Malik shows up, and if you remember Malik from the last book, the last we saw of Malik, he was literally a traitor, and he comes to like nurse Castile's wound. And Castile is not feeling this, obviously, because his finger just got cut off, and his traitor brother is trying to like help him, and he's like, "Bro, why are you doing this?"
Do you think he like was like trying to count something and he brought up his hand? Like, what?
Oh shit! No,
I'll
he's
tell
like,
you why I won't do
You
that.
know how many months I
First.
was looking for you? One? Oh man.
Damn.
Like, but what's funny is that Malik shows up and that nothing comes out of this conversation. Like, nothing. So the first time he and Malik, because Malik's gonna visit him again while he's in prison, but the first time Malik shows up, we learn fucking jack shit.
I just learned that there's a Malik.
So there's a siege at Oak Ambler. We're back to Poppy. So they planned this whole siege, which I don't think she actually knows what a siege is, because it's like, oh, the siege goes well, and they, they overtake the village. And I'm like, that's not a siege, but
Yeah, look,
okay.
I guess it's a little, maybe that's a little pedantic, but like it still is one of a number of things. It's like this is,
It just feels
Something
like she
happened.
was like, it's a siege. Like, I'm like, all right. So Poppy speaks to some soldiers in the middle of the battle, and they put down their weapons, and then they find their way around the castle. And when they get to the basement of this castle at Oak Ambler, because remember, this was a ascended stronghold. In the basement, there are a ton of Craven. And they fight the Craven, and one of these Wolven generals named Arden gets killed. And I didn't care, because he's not important.
I had no strong connection to him.
This is the second time that Poppy gets confirmation that she's unable to bring back those who are of two worlds. So Poppy can't, remember she brings that little girl back to life? She can't bring back Wolvins and she can't bring back Drakens. So
she can only, in theory, I guess, bring back the mortal part of them.
Yeah.
Not the
yeah, but we
Ooh,
don't
part
know
of
that for sure because we haven't seen that in practice. So, but that would be the theory, I think. And every servant in the castle has been turned into a ascended or craven. And there's
So
a
they
bunch
kill 'em
of
off?
well, yeah, there's a bunch of women hung on the walls, and again with the veils, and they also go to this temple for some reason that's like in the castle walls, and they find that all of the children that were sacrificed, like a big pile of their bones. So, big pile of children's bones in the middle of this sex book. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, why this is, like, why romantasy grinds my gears, that you just, like, have, like, sacrificial murder of children and their bones being left on this disgusting altar of, like, sadism, and then you're like, but at least Poppy and Castile, like, bone real hard and graphic. Like, I hate this shit. You know? And then people give me a hard time for hating on romantasy and, like, being like, well, you're devaluing me. I'm like,
no.
That's ridiculous. You know, like, that's horrible. Okay. So after liberating Oak Ambler and so Kieran and Poppy are like, we're going to Carcedonia. We're gonna free Castile. I'm gonna go save Castile.
Is it Macedonia?
No, they're going through the back roads to Carcedonia, is what
Not
it says.
Macedonia?
Not Macedonia. And Poppy has another dream where she sees Castile again. And finally, Castile tells her something. They don't just fuck this time. But he tells her that Isbeth is a demis. So he relays that information to Poppy. Which,
Great, I'm glad you're sharing information that's pertinent.
well, it's information that's pertinent, but at the same time, what's ironic is that, yeah, I'm glad that you're telling Poppy that you found out Isbeth is a demis, but neither of you know what to do with that information, what that means, or why that's important. So...
At least he's like, you know what? I'm stuck in a prison cell. You have access to a library
Like,
and people. Maybe you can find out.
Dude, it would be like if me and Noah hung out and, like, I would be like, oh my god, I found something out about Ronnie. And he was like, what? And I'm like, Ronnie is a cancer. Like, you're just like...
Ronnie has cancer?
Yeah, like, he'd be like, what?
Because, like...
What does that mean?
It's just so irrelevant. Like, that's my point. It's like, you're telling me something that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, it's like, great, at least you told her something, but... to what end? Like, what is the point? So he tells Poppy that she's a demis, not a god, and all this other stuff. And they continue, and Poppy and Kieran, when she comes out of the dream, are still on their way to Carcedonia, and they're met by the Revenant, Millicent. So they don't know Millicent's name, but she's on the road, which, again, I love how many times they're, like, traveling somewhere and they're, like, intercepted. Like, how did she know you guys were on the back roads to Carcedonia? How did she know that?
Because she, I don't know, voodoo.
Like, she's just there, and she's like, yo.
Like, it's like, no, like, she's going in the opposite direction. She couldn't have tracked them from behind. She would have had to, like, yeah, she had to have known where they would be.
Yeah, like, this happened in the other book, too, where it's like they're underground, and they're trying to, like, infiltrate the castle in these super secret underground tunnels that, like, apparently, like, only Nyktos knew about or some shit, and then they get, like, intercepted. And then they get captured, and that's how Castile ends up in this situation.
Well,
like,
apparently someone wasn't the only one who knew about it then.
Yeah, like, right? I'm like, what? Why is this always happening? You guys are terrible at your super secret spy missions because you keep getting intercepted.
It's like Noah. It's like I would tell you this. Did you know that Rory is a bitch?
Wow. We moved on from that joke. What's going on?
Okay. You wanted to say that.
Yeah,
I did. I had an opportunity.
So yeah, so
annoying. But like,
it does seem like it's like, you know, they have this whole like it does kind of feel like like the record scratch moment of like, okay, we're giving up with this super secret. We're gonna like infiltrate the castle and rescue our friend. It's like, I'm caught before you even like get within sight line of the city that the castle is in.
Yeah, right.
And are like escorted. Like, okay, no, we knew the whole time. We were very well prepared for this.
It's like she wants the villain to be like one step ahead because and I'm like, but for no reason. You know,
well,
it just makes Poppy seem unprepared.
Yeah,
I mean, I can buy that she expected there would be an attempt to rescue him. That's a perfectly reasonable assumption to draw. But it's like
How do you know this?
You knew the route through the backwoods we would take specifically
On this
several
day,
miles
under the light of the
removed
moon.
from the city.
You think Millicent was just standing there for like hours, like, okay, when they come this way?
Like, were you just like, if she like in like a ghillie suit, like dressed like a shrub on the woods for like 3 days,
Yeah.
like waiting for them to appear, so you could like
Yeah, for
like
real.
like piss in a jar kind of thing, like waiting for them to show up.
Yeah, it's like LeFou, like, don't move from this spot until Belle and her father come home. Like, that's what she just made her stand there.
But it seems like it is.
You know, so she intercepts them and she basically tells Poppy that Isbeth is inviting her and Kieran back to the castle to discuss
Let's
things.
just say, it doesn't really feel like a formal invitation, more like I'm taking you against your will.
But here's the thing that's stupid about all that. Poppy is with Reaver and Kieran, and Millicent is by herself.
Well, she's a revenant.
And
Didn't they clarify that Draken can kill those?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the whole point they brought them in?
you're
You know,
outmatched.
I don't know what to tell you. This book doesn't make any sense.
And why would you go with her? Like, your whole plan was to get Castile back. So why would you willingly walk back into the claws, which is how he got captured the last time, and
in
negotiate?
Poppy's stead. He got captured instead of Poppy.
Right, so now you're just walking back into the
So
same
his
castle?
self-sacrifice means nothing now because she got you.
Yeah,
Like
no,
she
has
wanted.
you. Like, I thought the whole plan was that you were gonna secret get him out, like Claire getting Jamie out of Wentworth prison, like in Outlander. Like there was gonna be like a whole plan to get him out of prison. No, they just walk right in.
Well, I mean, also because
Hand yourself over on a silver platter. What is going on?
There's kind of always a question: why did, if she wanted to negotiate this, why didn't she just use that leverage immediately? Like, why was she waiting this whole time until after she'd
Why
like,
was
lost?
she waiting until they casually strolled through the woods to try to steal Castile back?
Yeah, if you wanted to negotiate, that would be like arranged. Like we'll meet on a battlefield with our respective armies and we will discuss things, or you know what I mean? Like, or we'll arrange like a discussion, like
Diplomacy.
like in the
honestly,
this is so weird.
Well, also, if you still want to commit to like the infiltration, you also could have just killed Millicent on the spot, and then like she can't report back, and then you could just like
That was an option.
go follow through with the whole sneak in and break him out and give her nothing kind of thing. So it's like,
Yeah, why would you just anyway? So
Kill the witch.
for some reason they go with her and Poppy passes out
Yeah, for 2 days.
for no reason.
For 2 days.
What?
was there a reason? I forget.
No.
For 2 days.
Literally for no reason. Like she just passes out. I'm like, they should have like Han Solo frozen her in carbonite.
I feel like that would have made more sense.
like woken her
Like,
up.
this woman has seen death and destruction firsthand. I don't think that just being caught on like in like
Yeah.
a very like what?
When did she become like a fucking like
Swooning like Regency
Victorian-
area
yeah,
woman.
Yeah, like
Where's my
swooning-
fainting couch?
Yeah. So she wakes up with Kieran and she recognizes her old room where she grew up. And Millicent comes to talk with her and Kieran, and they're invited to meet the queen, and she refuses to wear this white dress. Okay, girl power. And
Girl slay.
Well, I mean, I think the implication is that it was also a power move on the other side.
Yeah.
I know why. It's just like, you know.
Again,
like,
we're reducing her to the status of the maiden, which we know was a front the entire time. Like they wanted her to be the maiden so they could marry her off to the true king of Atlantia.
which she did.
Well, wrong
that
brother, but-
this to put my own two cents, that also feels very confusing and contradictory and kind of like a retcon. Like again, it's like everything about her role as a maiden and what she'd been veered for her whole life seemed wholly contradictory and unlikely to prepare her for that.
Well, because
Like, it seemed like the assumption seemed to be that her, like she was good. Like, why wasn't that something she expected the whole time?
Well-
Why was that going to be a thing you were going to spring on her afterward? I mean, it's like that's like her whole. That was her whole purpose. Why wasn't that her purpose? Why wouldn't
her
she,
whole purpose was to serve a greater power that could not be disclosed to her until she reached a certain age. And the reason it's so convoluted is because the original maiden, her story is also incredibly convoluted. And when you meet the original maiden, she goes through this whole like self journey because she was the first maiden, whatever. And
Yeah, but I think
My point is, it's always been convoluted because it's always been a ploy. It's all been like this
But
made-up
JLA
reason.
came up with all that stuff about the first maiden like after she wrote the
Yeah.
first book. So it's like it's not really even a helpful explanation because it's just more retconning and like
But I mean,
Yeah,
even
so-
the retconning isn't resolving anything. We still don't know what the
Oh, I
true
see.
purpose of the maiden is. We'll never know, probably, or we'll
Yeah.
get a very roundabout reason. I'm saying it's so convoluted because of like the nature.
Yeah.
She just can't figure out what she wants to do with these
But
fucking people.
I am very confused.
I was willing to buy. Actually, I did think, and I said this about the last book, that the twist with Castiel's brother was actually good. I think that it was. And I get what you're saying, that maybe this is something that she could have been prepared for her whole life instead of it being a secret. But I don't know. I buy it. Like they all seem just very secretive, and clearly, if she had like all these dormant powers and like whatever, like
If we're going in like the antiquated kind of medieval realm, if you will, because that's what it seems like it wants to be. It wants to be like a old timey fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Like princesses, you are to go do your marital duty for the kingdom. What does that mean? Your marital duty. Like they don't tell you. They don't tell you. Like you are going to do what you need to do your job.
And also, I think whether they had told her you're being groomed to marry somebody, or you have to stay a virgin until you're ascended, like that's effectively the same thing. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't think it matters that they didn't tell her that like you were being groomed for marriage.
It's
like
kind of implied.
because telling her she has to stay a virgin until she's quote unquote ascended serves the same purpose. So that didn't offend me. But when we learned some things about like in a second when Poppy is talking to them and we learn about Millicent and all this stuff, that's where I really have a problem, because I think that it does make sense in theory until we find out why Castiel's brother would even agree to this, that it is kind of a cool idea that she was being raised to marry the heir, and then in like this roundabout way she ended up being queen anyway, and that's like kind of a
and married the spare.
yeah. And because Castiel's brother was set up from the first book that he was like disappeared / captured, the fact that she had a relationship to the Queen of the Ascended, you know, like there was some connection there from the time she was little, like all that stuff in that reveal in the third book like was kind of set up.
Everything after, though, I can't say for sure.
But once you actually learn more information about that, she actively undermines her own explanation and makes it make no sense, because there was a lot with that you could leave to the imagination I was willing to ignore. You know, and I was willing to allow as like as an explanation. But we're getting there. So hold on. So they show up and they listen to the Queen bless the mortals, and they say that there's these cities falling to the harbinger of death and destruction, which Isbeth's words make Poppy angry because she's like, I'm not a harbinger, and she doesn't believe that she's like this monster that apparently she's supposed to end up being, which is hilarious because you literally almost leveled a whole fucking city and Kieran had to talk you down, and then you're like, what, me?
And then you almost do it again, and Millicent's like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, like, I get that you don't want to believe that you're a bad person, Poppy, but you have to admit that you are capable of bringing about such death and destruction. Like, why are you so indignant about that? But anyway, she lashes out, and like you said, Millicent's like, and for some reason, Poppy listens to her, even though she just met this bitch. And
Well, also, isn't Millicent also like kind of directly countering her spells? Like, isn't she like?
I don't remember, but it's like
I know that too. I mean, I just remember that the reason Millicent is able to be in a position to talk her down, I think, like she's in some way like immune. I think they're just like immune to the magic, so
She's like
not,
her fluffer.
what?
That's,
That's not what. No.
that's that. You don't know what that means. So I think she's like immune to the magic. Somehow, and that like that's the whole thing with the rodents, so that she can't just like poof them away or whatever. And like, which again feels like kind of weird. Like, okay,
You can poof the Drakens away, but
Well, we
some
find out-
old woman can do that.
We
but-
find out why later Millicent can do these things.
Yeah, we do, but even then it still doesn't make sense. But
Still
so
seems a lot.
Isbeth says to Poppy, now that she's in her fucking clutches, she's like, so I'll give you the opportunity to either see Castiel or see your father. And Poppy's like, why would I give a shit about seeing my father? I don't even know that motherfucker. I would like to see my husband.
She's like, I know something you don't know. And then she brings her to Castile, irregardless.
Yeah, so
I'm kidding.
Castile...
I'm kidding. Can you get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But Castile and Poppy meet up again, and she is horrified about how he looks. And he doesn't even recognize her because he's, like, basically going mad with bloodlust. And she lets him drink enough of her to, like, take the edge off. Anyway, so Millicent has blood all over herself for some reason. And she, after Poppy leaves,
Which is so weird.
Yeah, so Poppy, picture this. This is literally what happens without exaggeration. Poppy's in a jail cell with her husband. She leaves. Millicent comes in, covered in blood.
Hey, do you mind if I use your bathtub?
Yeah. And she takes a bath. And then when she takes a bath, Castile sees, like, in her face that she looks familiar.
Because all of her face paint came off or some shit like that.
I think it was hair dye.
Yeah, and he realizes that she looks like Poppy, and he comes to the conclusion that Poppy must be Millicent's sister. And not only that she is the first child of Isbeth and Iris, so they're half-sisters.
And he found this in a stroke of bloodlust.
Yeah.
Like, he came to this conclusion while he was near
Half-feral.
clinically insane.
Like half feral.
I would not believe him.
And even though it was established that because of Poppy's lineage and birth, she has these magical powers, apparently she has a sister who was born before her who does not have these powers because genetic lottery.
She didn't survive the culling.
Which doesn't make sense.
And so Isbeth used what knowledge she had of creating the Revenants and created like a hybrid to keep her daughter
But
alive.
see, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Rory, I'm explaining it to you, but I don't know what I'm saying.
Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we've been literally told this whole time that Poppy is special because of her lineage. So if she had a sister who is literally, like, also of the same fucking lineage, like, why does she not have these special powers? And the book's basically just like genetic lottery. So was Isbeth just gonna keep having kids with gods until one of them popped out with god powers? Like, what was this plan?
Operation Progeny.
What? That is so fucking stupid. So Poppy goes back to her room. And she reaches out to Kieran through their, like, you know, bond. They call it the notum or whatever. And they basically say they're going to run away.
Together. Oh, whoops.
Which, you know, if you guys had prepared this more, you wouldn't have to be running away. You could just leave.
Yeah. But you kind of got yourself stuck in this little sticky situation.
Yeah. So Poppy creates a mist so she can cover their runaway. So, again, doesn't have control of the weather until she conveniently does. So she creates a mist consciously. Which,
even though she's gone through no formalized training at this point.
Yeah, and the
or
only
put in no self-reflection of how to temper her anger.
And the only time we've ever seen her control the weather in the past was when she was out of control with emotion. But now she can create mist. That's
because
cool.
she's getting stronger.
Yeah.
Because she is.
I feel like I'm on fucking drugs. Like, what is going on right now? This is, like, worse than SJM. This is actually crazy. So...
I can't believe, like, we're, like, halfway down the book.
I know. It's insane.
It feels like nothing fucking happens in this book.
No, it really doesn't.
We're just learning things that make us question the sanity of the universe.
Yeah. So Reaver and Poppy leave their rooms. They kill some guards along the way. They manage... Yeah, no big deal. They manage to escape, and they make their way towards the temple, and Poppy thinks that that's where Castile is being held.
Even though she was just there and saw where he was being held.
Yes.
But she doesn't know where he was being held.
But she doesn't know. I
because
think they
she
might
just
have
went there.
blindfolded her or something. But why would he be held near a temple? Why wouldn't he be in, like, a fucking dungeon? Like, what?
Why wouldn't he be underground?
I don't know. But...
That's like a weird power move, I guess.
Yeah, so they're caught by Malik. So Castile's brother shows up
Malik.
again. Yes. Malik shows up again, and Kieran is like, I don't trust your ass because you're shady as shit and you made a deal with Isbeth to marry Poppy, so duh. And Malik's like, listen, I know every sign points to you not trusting me, but, like, you gotta trust me, son. And they're like...
Brother.
Everything about your, like, actions, appearance, and just general vibe screams untrustworthy.
So get this! The reason why he is doing any of this, he reveals to Poppy and Kieran that Malik says that the reason he's doing any of this, why he betrayed his brother, betrayed his kingdom, and agreed to work for Isbeth, is because Millicent is his heartmate. So let's think about this for a second.
I hope the countless innocents who have died and suffered under this regime you've helped support were worth it. I mean, for your love for this literal corpse.
Millicent bathed in their blood. Didn't you see the bath scene?
Well, that's not what bothers me so much. What really gets me is the fact that this man betrayed his whole family.
Atlantean.
This Atlantean not only betrayed his whole family for some pussy, but he agreed to marry Poppy, the sister of his heartmate.
If heartmates are as, like, profoundly beautiful and, like, rare and special as they are proposed to be, that would not fly.
Like,
you would not be able to marry anyone other than your heartmate.
You did all of this and agreed to marry her sister because you're so in love with her?
I feel like you wouldn't be able to do... Rory, do you understand what I mean? Like, I don't think
Yeah.
that, like...
What?
Like the if we're equating the heartmates to something along the line of mates, because that's what it kind of feels like it's trying to do. Like you're destined
Gee,
for
why?
someone.
Why would you think that? What's
Heartmates, heartmates. But anyway, my point is, it feels like that is something that like you should not be able to do because of the bounds of the magic and the love and the whatever. Like Reese wouldn't be able to marry anyone else. He wouldn't be able to bond with anyone else. He would rather kill himself.
Like, this just is so stupid. And like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, like, I don't like or indulge in the trope of, like, the male interest, or really any love interest, is willing to do, like, things that they never thought they could do for the sake of love, right? Like, I've been on my Outlander kick recently because season 7 has been coming out, so I every year I have my refreshed obsession with it, and then I forget about it till it comes back, right? But that show / book series is so much better written, and bear with me, I know comparing Diana Gabaldon to, like, Jennifer L. Armentrout is like comparing ho-ho to, like, a chocolate lava cake. But, like, let's, like, bear with me. So, but bear with me. Like, in something like Outlander where the world is so brutal and, like, the choices that those characters are presented with, it's so much more compelling without you feeling like the characters are being villainized or assassinated when Jamie and Claire, for example, are willing to do, like, heinous things to protect each other. Because it's sort of like the world wouldn't offer them the same mercy, you know? And, like, the situations she puts them in are more compelling, that you understand why somebody would feel they need to make that decision for a loved one. This is actually insane. Like,
Clinically.
Like, you betrayed your whole kingdom, your whole family. You let your brother think you were fucking dead, and you were willing to marry your maid's sister. And first of all, you never told her, because she doesn't know. Millicent has no idea that they're heartmates. What? And you did all this for the pussy? Like, you can't know her that well.
Also, yeah, that part
You
also
can't
confuses
trust her
me.
either.
That part also confuses me. He's able to know, but she isn't. Like, how did that connection work?
Does she know that they're heartmates?
No, she doesn't know jack shit.
All right.
And I just want to be like, what do you know about this girl? How much time have you spent with her? Like, she is, like this is so frustrating.
Well, I mean, like, I think they've known each other for a while, but predominantly in a professional capacity. I mean, I kind of got the impression Millicent was, like, pretty tightly attached to her mom and wasn't really doing much outside of, like, creepy murder, undead assassin shit.
Like, what was your grand plan here, man?
My grand plan.
Like,
I know
what was the plan?
I think you were nominally trying to protect her, but it feels like you weren't doing very much.
Yeah, like, what was the point of any of this? So anyway, they believe him, and Poppy's like,
For some reason.
you're doing this for love? Oh, automatically that makes everything you did A-okay in my book. And he's like, don't worry guys, I'm still gonna help you free Castile, because I make no sense. And they get to the dungeon where Castile is being held.
Because it is a dungeon. It's not a tower.
And also, we never get confirmation that Isbeth knows that what his motivation is. Like, why does she trust him?
Because she thinks he wants the power.
But wouldn't she be a little more suspicious of his brother is captive? Like, why is she letting him, like, go see him? And, like, do you know what I mean? People have changes of heart. Wouldn't you be, like, a little suspicious, like, that he would do something like this?
I'm beyond questioning.
Okay,
this
anyway.
book.
They get to the dungeon.
I know why you're asking. Because it's so stupid. Like, she shouldn't.
Yeah, like, you're the leader of, like, I don't know. You should just be smarter than this. Anyway.
And the thing is, she acts smarter than this in some ways, like the step ahead and the sending the finger, and like she acts smarter sometimes, but then she acts really stupid.
Yeah, she takes like stupid pills out of nowhere.
She's not a consistent villain.
It's so ridiculous. And she's clearly like a very flaccid villain too, because the whole time Poppy's been in her clutches, she's done nothing. Like she sends Poppy the finger, and then that's like the last cruel thing we see her do.
Well, she is taking blood from him a lot.
Okay, like, ooh, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I just feel like wouldn't you like torture Kieran or like try to do something?
He is being tortured. He's losing himself. He's in bloodlust.
But I mean, she's not like seeing it. Like I don't know. Maybe I've just seen too much. Like,
he has effectively lost his mind.
All I'm saying,
he could not recognize his heartmate, Rory. I think that he was being tortured.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, in like stuff like Game of Thrones, like people like, you know, get like skinned alive in front of their parents, and like even in like Outlander, like there's the threat of like being like, you know, of like hurting your partner in front of you. Like she doesn't use any of that leverage. Like she doesn't like make Poppy
she's a
watch
dumb character.
But that's what I'm saying. Like not that I'm over here trying to be like a sadist or I want to see like horrible things, but I'm just like, you literally had this woman kill children and put their bones in like a pile in a temple, but then you're just like letting Poppy gallivant around the fucking castle with her friend while her husband's like far away, and you like barter with her to get him food. Like I'm a little confused about how evil you're supposed to be, because
I mean, it feels like maybe the intention is, oh, she's going insane, and so her actions are by their nature erratic, but it also just comes across as just kind of very confusing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the confusing dumbass.
But you see what I'm saying, right? Like,
yeah, no, you're not the only one who sees it. I just don't know how to engage with it because it makes no sense.
So they get back to the thing, and
it's like arguing with a second grader because they don't have a good thesis on their paragraph.
Yeah, that's true. But so they get to Castile, and between Kieran and Malik, they just carry him out.
Yeah.
Freedom! They just
no guards in front of the freaking cell of the king of Atlantia while his wife is present, and he's also a vicious, brutal murderer who will kill anyone at the raise of a hand towards his heartmate. But you know, fine and dandy, his brother and his bestie boo, who's secretly like emotionally fucking his wife, just carry him out the front fucking door.
Yeah, they just walk out.
The Lulu.
Okay. And what's great is that Isbeth never puts it together that, like,
Malik helped.
Because who the fuck else would be responsible, you dumb bitch?
I'm wondering who she thought was at fault. I wonder if she really thought that Poppy was that smart that she managed to do it, or if Kieran was that strong that he managed to do it, or that, like, maybe Castile was just that, like, unbroken. But no! Makes no sense, Rory. I'm gonna cry!
There were no guards outside the cell.
There was no moat with alligators around it.
There was no guards in the hallway. When did they walk out the side door? How did they get out? Like, she never, like, specifies. They're just like, oh, they carried him out to a safe house. I'm like, how far away is the safe house? How long were they gone?
I'd like to imagine it's a good 20 miles away, and they were just carrying him the whole way.
Like, how far away was the safe house? How long were they gone? What door did they get him out of? Does the castle just have, like, a little side door? Like, what are you talking about?
It actually has a secret trap door in the corner of his cell that he didn't think to investigate originally.
Right.
It's like that bad, Rory.
Like, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been a while since I read the book, so I don't recall the details of the escape.
Neither do I, but like the fact that I'm not even like defending her honor, JLA, is a testament enough.
But the fact, no. Here's how I know it was stupid and not well thought out, was because if she had described it, I would have remembered. Because
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I just said that.
Yeah, because like it should have been
aggression.
Sorry, I was reading the thing, but my point is like, for something that should have been like I said, sorry to go back to Outlander, but my point is like when they're trying to free Jamie from prison in Outlander, and like that happens, that's like a whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, and then we did this, and then we had to run over this through this
and then
corner,
we tried this, and it failed miserably.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that has to be described so you get the logistics of where they're being held, how they get them out, like.
It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is he got to a safe house, and as soon as he becomes lucid, they fuck each other's brains out.
Oh God, this part. Okay. So,
no, do you want to tell us what happens next?
I don't recall.
They fuck.
The sex scenes are so kind of blurred together. I can't even recall which one.
No,
happened
really,
where.
it is. And once they get back together, it's like wham, bam, turkey and ham time. Every day is fucking Thanksgiving.
Well, you'd think after being tortured in a jail cell and like being weak and having your finger cut off and shit, you'd be a little more traumatized. Like you wouldn't be like waking up like
with a hard on.
You'd be like, I'm thirsty and hungry and tired.
And I want blood.
You know, like he wakes up in this bloodlust, which I understand he's in bloodlust, but then he feeds on Poppy and they fuck all night. All night.
Wait, is this the appropriate time to say maybe he had a fluffer?
Yeah, maybe he had a fluffer. Like, dude, and not only that, but it's so descriptive. It's like Nesta, put your hands on the headboard kind of shit. Like, she's like holding on to stuff and he's like fucking her from behind. It's so cringy and bad. Like,
well, I mean, it's like this has to be a great deal of physical exertion. I mean, not to be crude about it. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
you're tired and hungry and traumatized, and you have the energy for this.
Like how many days have you been eating essentially the equivalent of gruel for the past like?
Yeah, like
weeks,
you were
3 weeks?
fucking your wife aggressively all goddamn night because they do this till the morning. I'm like, you don't even have any Gatorade or nothing. Like, what are you doing?
Where's your electrolytes?
Right, like, how do you have enough fluid in you to do that? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate question, but like, I guess we had to kind of just not go think that far ahead with the physical aspect of it.
It was
Dude.
raw, unadulterated primal lust.
it's just so silly. Like, it feels like a child's idea of like, and then they had sex all night with big ass.
That's what I'm gonna do when I'm a big kid. Stick it in anything that moves.
Like, it's so fucking silly. And so when they're done on their little Pound Town sexcapade,
Castiel's like, oh, by the way, Millicent's your sister.
yeah.
Want to go back at it, babe?
Yeah. And, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and apparently, for some reason, Poppy finds out that Malik was apparently the Dark One the night her parents died.
So everything we thought up until this point, scratch that.
Yeah, retconned.
Okay, well, my thing is like the whole thing with like the night of her parents' murder is like a really big recurring motif. Is like because she's a child and had her memories messed with, she doesn't really recall a lot of the things that happened that night. But it feels like every single time it's revisited, there's always like another layer. I'm not again. It's not like I'm strictly opposed to it in theory. Like I get like okay, this is a very big formative moment for her, and there have to be like a lot of reveals about it because I kind of built into the concept of the story. So
And
I
it
accept
progresses
that.
as her knowledge progresses.
Yeah, like like I mean, like as she grows as a person, her knowledge of what truly happened in this very like understandably vague moment in her like unclear moment in her life, like becomes more clear. But it feels like there's too many revelations about like how many moving pieces were happening.
Well,
in the
It just
also-
feels unfathomable at this point. Like, not that many people could be really interested in the life of a child like this.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like,
Well, I mean, she's important child, so I get why people care, but there's always too many levels of
No,
like.
but why did all of these events coincide in the same eve?
but no. That's what I mean. It's like that. It's not so much that I have a problem, like Noah's saying, with like her having these revelations. But what's hysterical is it's like a new revelation with a person like she meets now.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like if we're
But that's what
all-
I mean to say. Like, why are all these relevant parties, like, congregating with conflicting interests and motives on the same night to create this perfect storm of, like, a travesty?
Yeah, like what? It's just it feels so contrived and strange. You know, she might as well just like
Rory,
throw the kitchen
I don't
sink.
know. Because I've never read something this convoluted and bullshitted in my entire life. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's so silly.
I just felt like there was a lot of moving parts for the course of that one evening that be revealed over the course of the story. It's like, I feel like after some way we've had to have run out of like new things that happened on just that one night.
Like, you know, like how ridiculous
And
this
an
sounds.
earthquake happened at the same time.
Yeah, like, and then there was a tornado. Like, you're like,
And the tornado picked up the house and moved it to a far off land, which is where she is now. And that's why she's going through all this shit.
you know, like every time it's like, oh my God. So the reason my parents were, this is literally how this has been going on. Ready? This is the progression.
Tell me.
So my parents were murdered because the Queen of Atlantia like wanted me for something, and they tried to protect me, and so we went out into the Craven Woods and they were killed. Not only that did the Queen of Atlantia have a reason to want us killed, so my parents fled, but Alistair was also involved, and he had his own motivations that when my parents fled, he helped organize it so they could get killed. And Malik was the Dark One at the time, and he wanted me dead, and he was almost the one who killed me.
But also, he didn't want me dead.
like, it's like,
But he felt bad about it.
but he felt bad about it, and so he didn't, and you're just like, that is all fucking insane and
Why?
ridiculous.
Why do they coincide on the same night?
It's like, it just feels so contrived and ridiculous. Like, you
I would
said
be,
it perfectly.
Rory, I would be less surprised if this entire book series ended with I woke up with a start in a hospital bed, covered in a white gown.
I know.
I looked around. Poppy, are you okay? You hit your head really hard a few
You fell
months.
down the stairs. Like Bella Swan fell through a window.
And it's like the freaking like Wizard of Oz, and like Castile walks through the door, and she's like, Castile.
and you were there.
Where's your finger? He's like, what are you talking about? It's right here.
Watch, his name's not even Castile. It's like you know, Cameron or something. Like, it's her boyfriend from school. But anyway, so she comes to that revelation. Castile is pissed at his brother, and oh, this is so funny. I love this synopsis. She goes, Castile is pissed off upon hearing that, despite the fact that Poppy tells him several times that Malik was also the one who saved her life. As all the pieces suddenly fall into place about what happened that night. And yeah, so this knowledge has to be put aside because it turns out that the Queen's guards are, of course, looking for them because they escaped.
It's not a very safe house, is it?
And they're only 2 doors down. And so they try to run, but then they're surrounded, and then the Queen comes to speak to them. So they literally escape and, like, have enough time to have sex, and then they're found immediately. So that time you spent fucking all night, maybe you should have been underground railroading your way out of this kingdom to somewhere safe. But no, you decided to go have sex
Like, if
instead.
I was on the run like that with a fugitive, essentially, and
Yeah.
like I was like the queen of a sovereign nation, and my husband was just like tortured, I would do my best to get the fuck out of there as soon as I could.
Yeah,
I
it
would
feels
wait
like-
until I was in the confines of my own fucking bed to go to Pound Town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it definitely
like,
feels like someone sort of said, like, you know, hey, if you guys have the energy for this, we have the energy to flee.
Yeah. Can we
so
at least
let's-
get on a horse?
Let's try to get further away.
If you can ride your husband, you can sure as hell ride a horse to safety.
so true. It's like, what was anybody thinking? The fact that not even Kieran, and don't forget that Kieran and Reaver are there.
I don't trust anyone in this book.
They're both there, and neither one of them. Why can't Reaver turn into a dragon and they fly away on him?
You know what? Because that would be too easy.
Like, why they have a person who can transform into a thing that flies, and they never fly away on him. Why?
I don't want to know, because I feel like if we get a reason, she's going to retcon it. Like, oh, he's only allowed to transform within Atlantia. That's why.
some bullshit like that. Probably,
But we
you're
are
probably right.
told that until we're outside of Atlantia and we need him to transform. Reaver, I can imagine now running down the street. Reaver, we need your help. Can you get us out of here and transform? Oh, so he stops. Actually, Poppy, let me lore dump on you. As a dragon...
While there's like people like shooting bows and arrows at
I
them.
am not over exaggerating when I say that is exactly what happened in the prequel with Seraphina and Reaver. Something crazy is happening. What's going on? Well, sidebar.
First the earth cooled, and then like you're just like, anyway, so she speaks to Poppy, and the Queen's like, Poppy, I love you, you're my daughter. And she also tells her that Malek is still alive.
Malec.
Yeah, and at first, Poppy is like,
Of course we knew Malek was alive.
yeah. But then Kieran utters a primal curse, and the queen's... Oh, wait, sorry. One of the revenants cuts Kieran and then utters a primal curse. There we go.
Why can they utter a primal curse if they're not a primal?
I don't know.
No fucking clue.
Who knows? But it's just
I
a way
can't do a witch's spell because I'm not a witch. I'm
Yeah.
a bitch.
But like,
I stick to my lane.
so Kieran's like big dying, and the queen gives them a week to find Malek, and Poppy negotiates 2 weeks, or Kieran dies.
I like how it's like, you go find Malek or I kill him. Like, what's the purpose of having Malek back? Why is it so important? Why does she want Malek? Why is she saying this?
Also,
why is it find Malek or Kieran dies? What is so relevant between these two parties where that is an equal negotiation?
Also, side note, like, before even getting to all that, why?
Step back.
I'm gonna step back just a second. Where did this desire to find Malek come from?
That's what I just said, Rory.
I know, but I'm saying, like, you're saying what's the answer, like, what's the reason she wants Malek? My thing is, when did she ever express an interest in finding Malek until this very second?
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
Forgetting that there's no reason for it, because you could assume that that reason will be revealed. When was this a thing? Number one. Number two, how do you know Poppy knows where he is?
And she doesn't.
Number three, if you knew that Poppy knows where Malek is and you want to find him, why didn't you make this deal with her when you had her husband captive?
Why are we doing this negotiating when he's free?
When he's free, and you're doing it with her guard, who is like blood sworn to die for her if needed.
It seems like he's kind of like a pawn on the chessboard. Like his life could be gone. Like we don't care.
You know, like, no
Sorry,
offense.
Kieran, but like we genuinely don't care that much.
Like, love you, Kieran, but that seems very weird that she would have this much leverage. Like, why
is it a tit for tat?
Kieran?
Why are they equivalencies? Like, what is so important about Kieran? What's so important about him? Like, because obviously she's trying to use Kieran as leverage, so she knows that something funky's going on between Poppy and Kieran.
But if, like, even if you wanted to say, like, a simple explanation like that
There is no
Kieran is
simple
her friend and she doesn't want Kieran to die because that's her friend and she cares about him, I'm like, if you wanted Poppy to find Malek this whole time, why wait till now and threaten her soldier when you literally had her fucking husband by the balls for like 2 months?
Actually, she had her husband by the pointer finger.
Yeah, like, you literally had her husband for 2 months and you never asked her for that information that whole time?
You never attempted to broach the subject.
Like, you could have sent her missives. Like, nobody writes letters. You don't have fucking ravens or some shit.
Yeah, yeah. Who delivered that box with his finger in it?
Right.
They forgot the message to go along with it.
Yeah, like, give me Malek or, like, another finger goes. Like, what is this plot? This is
That would have been more cool.
Right, like...
Instead of them going on a treasure hunt, getting caught, getting welcome to the castle, negotiating for food, getting freed, someone taking a bath.
Right, someone taking a bath.
Yeah, it does seem strange. It's like...
It doesn't seem strange, guys. It is.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, fine, they gotta find Malek, and Malik goes with them. So she trusts Malik to leave with them. Like, she's like, yeah, Malik, brother of Castile, you go with them. She doesn't try to take Castile back
Keep him in
either.
line. Keep him in line, Malek. And he's like, I let them go the first time.
Also, mind you, that she doesn't try to, like, capture anyone either. So you threaten Kieran. This is what she did. This was a better plan. She puts a
In her
spell
mind.
on Kieran that in 2 weeks he'll bleed to death.
I thought you told me she wasn't a witch.
Or the fucking
I know.
Revenant.
I'm being an asshole.
The Revenant puts a primal spell on Kieran that in 2 weeks this cut's gonna get so bad that he's gonna bleed to death. When you have Reaver, Poppy, Kieran, and Castile, as far as you know, 4 people against your whole army. Like, because she's there, she's a powerful demi, and she's got all these guards with her, and she doesn't think to, like, recapture anyone. No, we put a spell on Kieran, and he's gonna la-di-da go with them on this treasure hunt for Malek.
Again, what's so important about Kieran? Sorry.
That is the stupidest plan I have ever heard. Why didn't you just recapture Castile? That's way better. Like, what if they find a magic workaround and heal Kieran and then they never do what you ask? Like, you are putting a lot of eggs in this basket, woman. You are putting a lot of trust in people who, like, you have no reason to trust. I'm just so confused. And then she sends the brother of the person she had in custody to go with them on this quest.
I am flabbergasted.
Like, I'm just so perplexed how anybody could read this.
I think we're at halfway, actually.
Okay.
I need a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Stupidity. I can't.